Yeah, you're not going to hear anything on there when we're doing it online. Lori and I apologize, but we are here and we are back. Yes, you did hear that correctly. We are preempted by the Red Sox today. There was a rain delay yesterday with all of the storms, which therefore affected our show today because they've been on, I think, since I'm almost say a little more than 40 minutes ago. Their game began, which means that half of our show is going to be all Red Sox, and then we'll go back to regular broadcasting thereafter. Robert, I want to give you love, man. I know it bothers you every time. I love you. People send me a message all the time. You have no idea how angry it makes me. It's all right. It's okay. It's all right. Red Sox are doing fantastic, but okay, we got to do what we got to do. We got plenty of stuff for you anyway. Don't worry about that. Urzul, who just sent me a message saying you need my help. Go to my website, please, reeseontheradio.com, and spell it out exactly what you need our help with. See if we can find some way to help you out. We really appreciate that you would reach out to us. We want to help where we can. And I don't want to discourage you because I don't know exactly what the issue is, but if we can help, we'll do our best. So again, reach out, go to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. And if you're looking on screen, you can see it right there on the lower third, how to get to that website. So a lot of things have been happening just over the last couple of hours, and we are waiting for some responses from some people as it pertains to this guy named Seyo. And he is the restaurant owner of Portobello in West Hartford. And I think, I'm crossing my fingers, through the help of Mark Walsh, as you know, Mark from West Hartford, we could very well have him on the program tomorrow, which would make tomorrow's show an incredibly packed day. With so many people who say they're going to call in and then they cancel and all this other stuff. Like, we were supposed to get Erin Marin on the program, but she was with her children and she's on vacation, couldn't manage it. We're still working on her to get her here. That's going to happen. We literally communicate with her, but its schedule is going to be a problem because we kind of did it last minute. But anyway, that being said, we'll get to her. We're not done with Erin's Law in the state of Connecticut. We're going to get to the bottom of that. But Mark from West Hartford, Mark Walsh reports, got in touch with Seyo of Portobello Restaurant, and of course, the subject of the press conference with John Larson and Senator Richard Blumenthal. And Seyo appears to wish to address the issue with his driver's license and his voter registration. So we know that he has an interest in making clear what took place and how he ended up with this voter registration. You know that the story with Mickey Sherrill in New Jersey has gained a lot of attention. And I'm not talking about the attention of Abby Phillip over there at CNN and the people, that nonsense going on over there at her nightly show. It's that this is running against everything that the Democrats told us within a moment of Donald Trump's speech on Thursday. Just the other day, we had the governor of the great state of Connecticut, Ned Lamont, his lieutenant governor, Susan Bysiewicz, the angry Mouse William Tongue, standing around wagging their finger at everybody. Our elections have integrity, they told us. There's nothing to free here. We're okay. Donald Trump is a liar, which again begs the question, why did they all come out? All of them, all the people who refused to give up the voter rolls, all have the same messaging. But only one of them, Mickey Sherrill of New Jersey, came by and said, hey, this didn't happen on my watch, but it's here. She had to get out and ahead of it. It's completely turned everything upside down, as it should. I thought it wasn't happening. And if these people actually voted, there should be some arrests, shouldn't there? People say, oh, it was only 400 people who voted. So? So what? I don't want to hear anything about only. I don't want to hear it. I want to hear arrests. I want to hear warrants for arrest. Because my question is kind of similar to Scott Jennings' question to Abby Phillips last night. What's the threshold for where it bothers you? Or what's the threshold for people being penalized for it? I don't want to hear anything nonsense about it was only 400 people. I want to hear that every person who does this is going to get prosecuted so that no one does it. That there's a penalty attached to it. There's no penalty. People will behave in these illegal ways, right? Yes. So let's get it done. I want to see 400 people in a park walk. That's what I want to see. These are felonies. No? Yes. Now, that being said, Seyo, we're going to have to address it. Seyo seems to have an excuse as to why he was registered to vote, which opens up another can of worms, it would appear. Seyo got his driver's license, something he is not legally allowed to do, at AAA. How's that possible? We extended the courtesy to another private organization. And with that, we get a mistake like Seyo with a legal driver's license when he is not afforded one because he's not a legal citizen. If he does have a drive-only license, which they do permit here in the state of Connecticut, he should have never been eligible to get a voter registration card. There's supposed to be a little right there. No, sir. Unless somebody at AAA is saying, oh, you won't vote? Now, according to Mark's conversation with Seyo this morning, he seems to be stopping short of he chose to write he was a citizen of the United States, making him eligible to vote. Because, look, I look at it this way, because this begs a lot of questions. If Seyo says he was a citizen of the United States, that means that Seyo was not getting or trying to get a drive-only license that is built for illegals. Yes? Yes. See, one thing complements the other. See how you break that down? It's a real, like, I'm pulling a Columbo on you as you witness it. He marked legal citizen, which means there's no reason for him to get a drive-only license designed for illegals. It means I'm a legal citizen and I got a driver's license and then registered to vote. Ladies and gentlemen, he committed 2 crimes. These keep piling up. They are piling up a lot. So we want to find out from him. Did Seyo go down to AAA and say, "Yo no sé, me no legal"? And the attendant go, "Yeah, but so what? We can get you a driver's license anyway." Then we have to start going after AAA, or maybe the employee that went there, or maybe the practices at said location. I just want to know. Now, I know AAA is probably going to release a statement and say something like, we would never, we have never, and if we did, we fired that person. Sure, whatever it is they got to say, but isn't a response deserved by AAA? Shouldn't the records at AAA be subpoenaed, if not FOIA'd, to find out how something like this could happen? A guy who was in the country for 21 years, never had legal status during that time, was able to walk into a AAA and get a legal driver's license, isn't afforded one, gets a legal driver's license, and then walks out and he's registered to vote to boot. I mean, it was a one-stop shop, ladies and gentlemen. That's what AAA turned out to be in this case. And if it's a one-off, hey, AAA should explain that. Literally, this guy, as luck would have it, slipped through the cracks. It begs the question, folks, how many others did? How many others did? Or, what's better, did they create this? Or has it been made where illegals can go through AAA and not through the regular DMV to wiggle their ways into legal driver's licenses and voter registration? Could it be a little diversion, right, for all the illegals? Hey, wink, wink, nod, nod. I got to wait for you to get legal status. By the way, when you get a driver's license, do you have to provide a Social Security number? I'm just asking. Because the drive only, right? The drive only is for people who have no other valid documentation other than their place of residence. Right? It's for people who cannot obtain documents, hence the whole undocumented thing. If he had a driver's license, something else is attached to that is documented, a legal citizen. How did he get through that? How did AAA drop the ball on this? That's got to be answered. So we contacted Richard Blumenthal's office, or at least the people at his office, and we asked for a statement. And I don't care whether or not you like libs of TikTok for reporting it, but the West Hartford Republican Town Committee are the people who FOIA'd this information and got the information and then reported on it. Regardless of who you think is a legitimate news outlet for reporting it, it still warrants a response. And when I say a response, it means if Seyo broke the law by filing a document stating he was an American citizen when he was not, so that he could get a driver's license and he could vote, do we throw the book at him? Should he be charged? My answer is yes. It must. You guys fought hard for this guy. You told us nothing to worry about. No harm, no foul. This guy's no menace. You guys were... Luke Bronin sat right here, said he didn't care about the fact that he didn't have a clean kitchen and had a whole bunch of violations with the health department. That's not dangerous. So what, he got a DUI? That's not dangerous. But fraudulent documents suggesting that he's a U.S. citizen when he's not, being registered to vote when he's not getting a drive-only license, but going full bore for the legal document to drive in the state fraudulently? Come on, folks. He's a menace to society. Lori says to secure a drive-only license in Connecticut, you need to apply for a learner permit through the Department of Motor Vehicles, the DMV. If you are an undocumented individual, you cannot establish legal presence in the United States. 100% right. Let me see. What is this? An investigation. Fraud problem within the Connecticut driver's license. This was an article back in 2019. Okay, I'll look at that during the commercial break, Lori. Thank you for that. No, AAA cannot issue drive-only Connecticut driver's license. They offer DMV services, but the actual insurance of licenses is handled by the state DMV. So, Lori's telling me everything I need to know. So if you're going to the AAA office, you are getting legal license. The only people who can provide you with a drive-only license must go directly through the DMV, which we know now Seyo did not do. He went to the place that can only provide legal driver's licenses, which begged the question, what documentation did he provide saying he was a legal citizen? We got to ask Seyo, do you have a Social Security number? Whose Social Security number did you use? If indeed you did. If Seyo was a registered Republican, he would have been hung out to dry. Greg Dillon, 100% right, my friend. So we got to get to the bottom of it. I don't see how we don't. But I want to hear from those who stood up for this guy, who put their necks out for him. This is fraud. It is illegal. One of which we know is a felony. And again, he was on the voter rolls for 5 years, ladies and gentlemen. 2018, gets his driver's license, gets registered to vote. He votes in what is arguably the most consequential election of our lifetime, the 2020 election. Far more than the 2000 election between, Bush v. Gore. 2020 is a contentious election, and this guy was eligible because of whatever happened at the AAA, not the DMV, but clearly the DMV Department of AAA. And making this guy sort of the poster child of what's wrong with ICE, saying that he's done nothing wrong. A model citizen, ladies and gentlemen. That's what he was. That's what he is. He is a model citizen. And the only person we're not hearing from is Seyo until now. And I'm really thankful that Mark went and just reached out. And the guy picked up the phone, and he was absolutely eager to talk. And he wants to set the record straight because everybody else is telling his story. They're using him as a pawn. I mean, I think he knows that. Hopefully, he's got enough integrity in himself to say, hey, listen, this is what happened, and this is why it was wrong, and I didn't know I did this, and if I did that, then that was... If he's a good guy, fine, come forward. In fact, if Seyo comes forward and says, hey, I blew it, I screwed up, and took the L for it, I would stand by him and say, all right, the guy said it was wrong. If he comes out and says, yes, I did vote in the election, I was encouraged, blah, blah. I mean, don't you want to know? I want to know. I want to know. I want this guy not only to be the person, I want him to be the counter to everything Ned Lamont said, everything William Tong said, everything Susan Bysiewicz said. I want him to be the poster child to counter everything they told us the other day with that press conference, that ridiculous press conference. Telling all of us that what the president said was absolutely untrue. Our elections are safe and secure. It couldn't be further from the truth. There is no fraud. I want this guy to be the face to that nonsense. With their logic, as long as I behave after I commit a felony, then I'm a model citizen and should not be held accountable. Yeah, I know. That's the way they look at it. These people, they'll convince themselves of everything and anything. That's what's going on. Well, we're going to work on it. We're going to get to the bottom of this, and we're going to get a statement because we're going to hound them. We're going to continue to hound them until we get an answer. And we want one yesterday. John Larson, you too. We definitely want an answer from you because you guys argued with us. You got at that press conference and you pushed back on us. Right? Now what? And if you think that you're going to get away with all of that arguing and fussing you did in West Hartford, you got another thing coming. Because now the floodgates are open. And again, when we told you, that was the whole thing. We told you from the get-go. I don't think you know what you're talking about. Look, yet again, we're right. It kills me to be right all the time. But then you guys make it easy because you're working from politics, not logic. Politics didn't cloud your vision. You'd probably get half the stuff you do right. Let's take a break. Top of the hour, bottom of the hour, search light. Coming up next, it's Reese on Radio. Hey, we're back. Reese on the radio here live on WTIC News Talk 1080. I got to move all this stuff down when we do all this stuff. I just looked at a text message coming from the person who was looking for help. I just saw the video, ma'am. I will definitely get on this, and I've got Adam 12 looking into it immediately out of Stafford. We're going to watch that video, and then we'll have that information. Well, at least we'll have that conversation with you when we get a chance after the show. And I'm speaking, of course, to Urzuli Atabe, I believe, is the person who sent it, the video here. So we'll look into that, and we'll get in touch with you as soon as possible. It's only 400 people shoplifting, Michael. They say. Yes, that's a good point. Yeah, it is. It's insane the way that the way in which people look at this, saying that it's a nothing burger when surely it is. You cannot have a system that allows the fraud to take place. And it can't be a one-off. And I'm looking at, look, I really do mean it this way. A systemic issue of any kind is a problem. If someone is in that system saying to an individual, don't worry about it, baby, I'm just going to do this for you. Right? Oh, nah, don't worry about it. If you're not running the checks and balances, as tough as they may be at times, right? I mean, okay, so let me give a perfect example. So I had an ID problem many, many moons ago, and I had to go through it twice because the spelling on my birth certificate was different than that was on my Social Security card. And the reason why is because the hospital got my name misspelled. But I never dealt with it as a problem because no one ever really, there wasn't an issue, right? It was like, okay, it's a derivative of my name, no big deal. Until September 11th, and every T had to be crossed, every I had to be dotted. And it wasn't allowed anymore. And it became incredibly difficult. So one day I go to the Days Inn Hotel in Boston. At Brighton, to be exact. It's just outside Boston, but the town is Brighton. And I go there to go into the Days Inn, and they ask for 2 forms of ID, and my birth certificate didn't match I didn't have a driver's license at the time, but I had a government ID. But it didn't match because of the derivative in my name, right? And the clerk at a hotel of all places, nope, sorry, cannot. These 2 have to match. And I was like, really? They're like, yes, they just have to. And I didn't understand it at the time because I didn't know why their policy was so strict. I would only find out later that the Days Inn hotel that I was staying in, 3 of the terrorists stayed in. Remember, they took a plane from Boston, and they stayed at the hotel the night before. And since then, heightened security. You know, like they took a degree of responsibility by not vetting those who were in the hotel. So everybody had to suffer. Again, a Days Inn. Wasn't that guy was at the Sheraton or the Ritz-Carlton? I couldn't believe it. I'm like, you're a Days Inn. What the hell is the problem here? But I got it. When the woman told me the next morning, I said to her, I was like, yeah, it was really, really strict. She was like, oh, you don't know. I'm like, no, I don't know. And she says, yes, 3 of the terrorists stayed here at the hotel. And I'm like, really? She was like, yeah. Oh, you have no idea. Corporate was like all over the place, and everybody was like pulling their hair out. How did we allow this to happen? I was like, it's clearly not your fault. What are you going to do, vet every person who comes in? Yes. Yes, they are. Now, I'll admit, hotels are a little more lax today than ever before, but at that moment, no. So all I'm saying is that in this DMV thing, and that's the important part, if you are going to farm out those services to another entity, for the sake of thinning out the lines, right? For faster service, whatever it may be, you've got to make sure that the rules apply to the farm out. There can't be any gaps in the security measures or the protocols. Now, a lot of people have argued, in fact, I'm not going to even tell you who said it to me. I don't want to out them. So I've got to get my driver's license changed, right, from Texas to Connecticut. And I said to the person I was asking, I said, damn, I gotta get to the DMV. Is there one in Farmington? And the first thing they said was, oh, dude, just go to AAA. It's faster, and you'll be in and out in no time. So in my head, I'm saying to myself, okay, I guess I will. And I remember passing a AAA the other day. I was like, oh, I know exactly where one is. And then I get this story, and I go, huh? And then, as people do, they start, the murmuring begins. Yeah, the AAA thing it's kind of weird because, it's really easy to get your driver's license through them. Like, really? How so? And then you see a story like this. Now, I would think easy in the sense of, all right, I don't have a piece of mail that proves my address or something like that. All right, we'll waive that. What address do you have? We'll just put it on there. We're not going to hold you to all that craziness. Me, I consider that, them making sure that you live where you say you live. That whole bit. But apparently that's not a thing. Now, I think that that's going to change. I'm sure that this is only going to result in it being tougher to get a driver's license at the AAA. But that's what happens when you get a security breach of this nature or to this level. And when I say security breach, when I say that, I mean on the level of scrutiny in the public eye. Because that's what's going to happen. People are going to lose, I would say, credibility. The credibility will be lost on AAA. That they are a company that follows the rules and that they're a safe place, that people will not be going in there getting driver's licenses when they're not allowed to. Good point. Michael A. says that AAA should be using the same software as the DMV. Yes, I would. It would literally put one of the DMV computers inside the AAA. And I don't care if it's just one person working that system at AAA. AAA's got its own business to run, but there should be one person who is working the DMV angle or the DMV operation inside the AAA. If everybody's using it, and again, if it's lax in the sense of they're not doing the things that the DMV would hold you to, because every time what's the biggest problem when you go to the DMV? It's long. You got to make sure all the IDs check out. Got to have this form and that form. And as people try to make it efficient and make it, a shorter experience in there, you have to drop some of the protocols. Now, I will admit, I'll never forget the first time I ever had to go to the DMV in New York City. I had to take a whole day off because the lines were forever. You get there at 7 o'clock when it opens or just before it opens, you're not out of there until 1 p.m. That's hellish. But many people believe that that's part and parcel to the lazy, lackadaisical behavior of the people who work there. Sister girl. But I don't know. We're going to see if we get a comment. We're still working on it. Because I want to hear what any of these individuals have to say. I think Mark just texted me. He says, let me see. I'm forwarding the info to Mark Wayne Mullen and DHS. Good point. Yeah, good idea. That's a great place to forward it to, Mark. Absolutely. In fact, I think I know somebody that we can forward it to, so they can forward it to Mark Wayne Mullen. I don't know. Like I said, we'll get something from it. We'll talk to some people. I think Republicans should be all over this. I'm stunned that they're not, but they should be all over this. They're not so nice at the New Britain DMV. I would love to know what's the deal with them. I don't have to go there, so I'm not worried about it. On today's show, we're going to be talking to Richard Mette, who is running in the 22nd House District, and also Tim Knotts, who's running for State Senate in the 2nd District. They're going to be joining us later on in the program, roughly at about 4 and 4:30, respectively. And the reason why they're coming in later instead of earlier, they were supposed to be in the next hour, is because we have the Red Sox playing in a game today, which I believe is a doubleheader. They're going to be playing today. Well, they're playing now on regular. And I thought that it would not serve these gentlemen to be online so no one can hear them. We'll wait until we get on the actual radio so people will be listening when they get out of work. Also, we're going to talk about goodness gracious, I just had the darn thing. Oh, how much are the top earners in Connecticut paying in taxes? And how much are the lowest earners paying in taxes? The number will surprise you. And I don't mean the people who are at the top end, the people at the bottom. How much they pay into the tax structure of Connecticut will probably make you mad. It made me mad when I read it. It made me. And I'll tell you, folks, I looked at these numbers and I looked at these numbers and I literally wanted to walk up to these complainers about the rich, and I wanted to curse them out. Like, you ever curse somebody out so bad that there's nothing left to do but fight? Like, you curse them out so bad. You've said horrible things about them, their mother, their sister. And the person is just so angry he has no choice but to say, that's the way I feel about this info. You people, Josh Elliott too. Man, you got a lot of nerve talking about who's paying their fair share in this state, or anywhere for that matter. So we got to break down these numbers and tell these clowns, finally, shut up. Shut up. Because the stuff that people are getting from the fewest in the state, nobody has any right to complain. There's a lot of freebies here. I mean, it almost pays to make nothing in the state of Connecticut at the level that these bums, and that's what they are. They're bums. Especially if they're complaining about not contributing. Like, that's my view. If you're a bum complaining and you're not contributing, you are paying nothing. Like, you're the kind of guy who complains about the price of a pack of cigarettes instead of quitting, you're a bum. If you're the guy who complains about the price of rent and you have never, I mean, I'm going to say something horrible. If you're a deadbeat, like you don't pay your bills, you know, like we're talking about you're delinquent on your bills. If you're that type of bum and you're talking about fair and equitable, you're a bum. Shut up. If you've got credit card debt and you're not even working on your credit score, you're a bum. If you don't have a credit score, you're a bum. And you're complaining about the rich and the wealthy in here, and you're not even, like, if you can't even apply for a prepaid credit card to build up your credit, you're a bum. If you pay for everything in cash because you don't know how to go to the bank and open up a bank account and you're over 35, you're a bum. If you've been so delinquent in a bank account that banks won't even allow you to become a member, You're a bum. You don't get to tell the rest of us how to be or what is wealthy or greed, all that nonsense. No. No. If you don't pay your bills on time, you're a bum. Reggae Don the other day was talking about how Republicans don't care about helping people pay their student loan debt. I didn't borrow that money, you bum. You did. He told me some nonsense about Joe Biden want to pay off the kids' debt. So Joe Biden ain't got no money. Joe Biden's broke. That's why he's selling secrets to foreign countries. Allegedly. Joe Biden is a bum. His son is a bum. Dude, bunch of no-show jobs selling secrets, allegedly. Joe Biden never paid for anything. Joe Biden's never had a regular job. He's been a public servant since the 70s. And guess what? He didn't even save any of it. Once he got out of office, he got dead broke. That's what happens when you're paying for somebody's crack habit. Allegedly. He didn't pay for anything. And nobody should be paying anyone's student loans because you went and got 4th century Greek impressionist history degree. You're a bum. Half of these people, I just like listening to them talk about how much money they don't have. Get some money. You got to do something. What was that line? Freddie Fox. He said it in a rap song called Rough with KRS-One on the Sex and Violence album. And he said, I heard a pimp will sell his butt if his prostitute won't. I'll just say that. That's right. That a pimp would sell himself if his prostitute won't. That's what desperate times call for desperate measures. There are people, if you knew, I talk about this all the time, living in San Antonio. I've never seen poverty, folks. I thought I've seen poor people. I was a poor person. I was sleeping in a stairway, packing groceries at the Key Food across the street from the hallway I had to sleep in every night, riding the train. I thought I knew poor. I thought I knew bum. I get to San Antonio, and there are people there who cannot read, who are on the street corner selling plots of grass on a wheelbarrow in 110-degree temperature so they can feed their family, living in a shack made with aluminum siding, no running water, on a land where they have to go to a well in the 21st century. That's happening in San Antonio, Texas. Dead serious. Crazy part, check this out. My wife, Roseanne, her grandmother, God rest her soul, just passed away a little more than a year and a half ago. I remember the first day I went to her house. I was like, what is this? She goes to my grandmother's house. She owned the land. A little less than an acre. A lot of land, too. And the house that she's living in was literally put together with a bunch of aluminum siding and wood. She's lived there for years. Years. They have electricity running in there. They had a flat screen TV on a wall that literally they just propped up. Yeah. Yeah. Water coming from a well. Concrete floors. Yeah. Absolutely. Dogs and chicken and snakes and all that. I got to send you a picture of it. I got to show you a picture of it. I drove up on that woman's house and I went, what the hell is this? I said, this woman's lived here for how long? 50 years. Like, I thought that it was third world country poor. This is San Antonio, Texas. on a regular street. We drove down the street. There were stray dogs just walking around. On the street corner, they were selling chickens and hay on the street corner. People were selling chickens and hay on a major thoroughfare. I looked at those people and I said, I don't know what I'm talking about. I had it bad. They would have looked at my life and was like, look at you, rich guy. It's really, really bad out there. So listen to these bozos up here in Connecticut talk that mess about, they're not paying their fair share. There are people who are struggling. Not compared to these folks. I wish I could. I wish half of these people would go to my old neighborhood. 2 to 3 miles away from the home that I bought, and go see these people standing on a corner selling piñatas in the dead of heat, in the middle of the day. I'm sweating from my car to the building in about 20 feet. And then you look at these numbers. When we come back, I have to tell you these numbers. Boy, these people don't know what they're talking about. I get Connecticut is one of the wealthiest states. Don't get me wrong. I get that. But who's paying the most in taxes? The wealthy have a right to a tax break. It's minuscule who's paying most of the taxes in a state. Minuscule. So we'll break all that down. I've got the numbers for you as well. And as I said, we've got Richard Mette from the running for the 22nd House District, and Tim Knotts, who's a state senate in the 2nd District. He's running there as well, plus a whole bunch of other news items to get to. We will get some feedback on on what's the guy's name? Why am I forgetting his name now? Seyo from Portobello Restaurant. We're going to find out if he's going to come on the program. If not later on today, possibly tomorrow when we have a full boat. Also, Barbara Fair, who was a guest on the show last week, called me this morning. She spoke to Jessica Jones, the mother of Jay Allen Jones. Barbara Fair is working on having her call in because she lives in Georgia. She's going to have her, see if she can get her to call in tomorrow during the show so she can read a statement that she has been wanting to read about the release of the video of her son's death. So I will have that information for you. I will hear it either later on today or tomorrow before the show. I will let you know. So make sure you're paying attention online. Go to reseontheradio.com, follow us on Facebook or X or on YouTube so that you can get a heads up on that. Also, we'll have information on whether or not we're going to talk to Seyo tomorrow as well. And we got a whole bunch of stuff to get into today. I guess it's time to take a break. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. I'll have those details for you soon. So stand by. Here's Dave Mager, who's filling in for John Silva in the WTIC newsroom. All right, we're back. Reese on the radio, WTIC News Talk 1080. You're checking us out online on the Odyssey app, WTIC.com or ReeseOnTheRadio.com. Welcome to the program. I just checked out the Red Sox score. It looks like we are at the top of the 7th. Is that right? I could have sworn I had it in front of me. No, I apologize. We look like we're at the top of the 6th. Top of the 6th inning. And the score is 6-3 Red Sox at home. So we're looking at least another hour or so before that game is over. And then we will return to regular broadcasting on WTIC on the radio. You could join us then. And our guest will be here by then, Richard Mette of the 22nd House District. He's a candidate there. And Tim Knotts, who is running for state senate in the 2nd District. We'll talk to both of them one after the other as they come on the program. We've got a bunch of other stuff we need to get into. So I was looking at this number because someone inspired this question. And I'm looking at it and I'm going, yeah, you know what? That is a great point. How much do the top earners in Connecticut pay in taxes, I should say, for all the taxes here in the state? And they do pay a bulk, but it's the percentage that means so much in all of this. Try this on for size. The top earners carry the bulk of Connecticut's personal income tax load. The state's income tax is a progressive rate of 2% to 6.99%. So a small slice of high-income filers funds a large share of it. The rest of the filers, especially the bottom half, paid little to none of that particular tax. Overall, state and local taxes look less progressive because property and sales tax hit lower and middle incomes harder as the share of said income. So in the income tax, who actually pays? The top 2% of filers paid about 40% of the entire state personal income tax. Again, 2% of filers paid about 40% of the entire state personal income tax. Roughly 1.1% of filers, that's under 20,000 returns, 20,000 people, paid the same, 40% of the roughly $10.2 billion in income tax total. Again, 20,000 people, 20,000 returns, paid for 40%, coming to an estimated $10.2 billion in income tax. A smaller group of about 4,300 filers accounts for 26% of all of those taxes. The bottom 54% of filers paid only 4% of all taxes. You heard me right. The bottom 54% of filers, those are people who file income taxes. The The bottom 54%. Remember, the ones that we're all supposed to be paying higher taxes for. Those people contribute 4% of all taxes. Together. How many people are we talking about, folks? Remember when I told you it was 20,000 of the 1.1%, just 20,000 people? 40% make up 900,000. 900,000 people make up just 4%, while 20,000 people make up 40. Fair share my ass. About 30% of filers, that's over 530,000 people, they pay zero income tax. But they're the ones who get the most. They get everything. They do. They contribute nothing. Remember what happened to the fair share? And here's the other thing. Let's talk about the rich here. What are they taking? In the grand scheme of things, what are they taking? When they pay into the till, what do they get out of it? What, harassment? Right? What, they get consternation? They get belittled? They get told that they're not paying enough? They contribute the most, and what do they get in return? And don't give me no nonsense about welfare, corporate welfare. We're not talking about corporations here. What are they getting in return? They can't even be left alone. What are you talking about? What are they getting? They can't even be left alone. They can't go a day without being maligned for just being wealthy. They pay all the taxes. The rest of these bums pay nothing. And I bet you they're the biggest complainers. That's a hell of a lot of money to not be paying. Hell of a lot. 30% of filers, 530%, pay zero state income tax. Many of those also receive state credits, like earned income tax credit, property tax credit, etc. So we're going to talk about loopholes. Looks like they get them too. The exact top 10% of filers' share is not published in a single clear recent table the way that the top 1 to 2% figures are. But the pattern is clear. Once the top 2% are already at 40%, the top 10% of filers almost certainly account for the clear majority. That is likely to be 60% of all taxes. You get that? That means that 10% of the wealthiest, the top filers in the state, pay 60% of all income tax. 60%. So when we talk about this 60-40 split, right, it's not going in their direction. It's going in the opposite. And again, with 30% of the filers, 530,000 of them, paying zero, and the bottom 54% of all pay only 4%. 60 versus 4. Like, I would be grateful if you met at like 10. Can you pay at least another 6%? At least so you can pay for all of the nonsense that you keep whining about. Like, you can contribute more. Why should the rich have to pay even more? 60% is not enough. But here we are. Here we are. There's some other points here that I want to make. The share of the total tax revenue. The top 2% of Connecticut filers pay about 40% of the entire state income tax. A tiny group writes the big checks, the number that shows who's actually funding the government. The effective rate, taxpayers paid divided by the household income. This is the percentage they keep repeating. Now, what am I meaning by that? You hear progressives, guys like Josh Elliott, always say, they always bring up the fact that this tax rate that wealthy people are paying versus those who are not wealthy is nonsense. That's the whole nonsense. On the pure income tax, the system is progressive. Higher earners pay a higher percentage of their income, and they pay an overwhelming majority of the dollars. That part matches reality. Where the progressives get the wealthy pay lower percentage claim is when they switch to the overall state and local tax burden. Income tax, property tax, sales tax, excise taxes, etc. In those studies, ITEP and the DRS evidence reports that lower income households often show a higher effective rate. Why? Because the sales tax take a bigger bite out of a low income budget because almost every dollar gets spent. Property taxes or the rent that includes the landlord property tax hits harder as a share of income for people lower on the ladder. The income tax, which is progressive, is the only one piece of the total. So they take a progressive tax, mix it with two or more regressive ones, and then announce that the system is regressive because the bottom pays a higher percentage on their smaller income. And the problem with that framing is a lot of the lowest income taxpayers in those studies are renters. They're not homeowners. The models still assign them a large property tax burden. Government benefits, tax credits, transfer payments, the flow of heavily to lower income households are often left out and undercounted. The actual dollars still matter. Top earners are the ones writing the checks that keep the schools open, the roads paved, the social programs running. Paying a slightly lower percentage of a multi-million-dollar income still means paying vastly more money. That's the part they're ignoring. So it's what we call an economic sleight of hand. Why? Because guys like Josh Elliott know that the lower earners don't understand that. They don't. The higher earners know because they're the ones who are paying. Punitive taxation, indeed. Work harder, you must pay. That's right. They don't see it as work, though. They see, like, God, this is going to go back to me and being a child. But there is this belief that says if you're wealthy, you don't work hard. That the only people who work hard are the people who are struggling. There is no grind in the wealthy. Like once you've made it, you finally get to relax. Many people believe that. They believe, man, if I had all the money in the world, I could finally relax. That will give them sort of a time to go on vacation and to do things, spend money, buy the nice cars. They believe life becomes easy. It's a cakewalk once you've made it all. Having never made it, by the way, never take advice from these people. They do not understand that the grind gets harder. Why? Because now you have to maintain it. And a lot of these bozos don't know that. See, they think that hard work is a struggle. People who have made it see hard work as a lifestyle. That's the choice. You want to keep that money. You want to earn more. You want to purchase those things that your wife could never have. She's got to have a pedicure and a manicure every weekend. You got to bust your ass to do that. These people don't know that. They think that stuff just shows up. That once they get wealthy, oh, it's just scot-free. I can relax now. No. The grind gets harder. Take it from me. Take it from a lot of, even my brothers will tell you. They never look at a promotion and say, now I get to relax. They look at it as something else to protect. God, if I told you, and this is, and I know I shouldn't be telling this, but I gotta tell it, because I think this is a lesson for people who don't understand this grind. Every day, I'm thinking, because I love it so much. It's so valuable to me. Every day I'm saying to myself, this could be it. This could be that last day. Somebody called in, there's a budget cut, there's a merger, there's a corner cut, and you're gone. And then you got to ask yourself, how do I reevaluate this? Am I prepared for something like that? You can't sit idly by and just say, nah, I'm good. No, every day I'm thinking of something new. And when I say thinking of something new, I'm the next act. What happens when the bottom falls out from under this? What, you got a plan? You better have a plan. And you think it's all gravy. Yeah, we're getting the accolades here. Yes, the ratings are this. Yes, the press clippings are this. People can tend to get a little comfortable in their little situation. Yeah, baby, I'm riding. I'm high on the hog. I ain't going nowhere. Hell no, not me. Every day. When I came up on my first year anniversary here at WTIC, you know what I said? Whew. Made it a year. Let's go for 2. When the contract comes up, you can sit up there going, okay, we got a game plan. What happens if it don't go your way? That's the grind, baby. See, bums will sit around and just like, nah, you ain't got no worry in the world. You all right. No, we're not. Shows you've never grinded before. You've never understood the grind. That's why I call them bums. You have to know what it's like to be hungry. And I know a lot of people out there know what it's like to be hungry. And when I say hungry, I'm not talking about when your stomach is grumbling. You know, when I say hungry, it's like you look at a situation and you go, I need more. I'm not going to be complacent. Yes, I'm glad that I got a job, but how do I get it? How do I get a promotion? After you get the promotion, how do I get job security? After I get the job security, how do I make my money work for me? Wife comes in. I want to go to Paris. How do I get to Paris? I want a 2-carat diamond ring. Okay, how do I get that? Every day, the grind is on. Sure, it's all fickle. Absolutely. It can all go to pot after, but that's not the point. Bums sit around and get angry as like because everybody else got. I remember that line. I still love it to this day. There are 2 types of people in this world. One will look in your cup to make sure you got enough. The other will look in your cup to find out if you have more. And there are a lot of people out there who are looking at others just saying, how they got it? How come they got to have it? How come I had an ex-wife like that. She would visit friends, and they have a home in New Hampshire. She'd go and visit the home, and she'd be bitter about what they have. They got this home out there, man, feeling horrible about herself because this person's got this home and that home. One of my friends has got a nice fancy home. I'm not bitter about him having the home. I'm saying, you're my best friend. When can I come in? When can I come and hang out here? I'm trying to say, can I have my birthday party here one day? I'm trying to make that person my best friend, that I'm such a good friend with them, they want to throw a party for me in that home. Hey, Reese, come on out to my luxurious $1 million home out in the woods. I want to throw your birthday party out there. Invite all your friends. That's the guy I want. I'm not sitting up there jealous at him about his friends. I'm going, I want to hang out with you. When you going up to the cabin, can I come? What I got to be jealous for? Guess what I don't have to pay? The taxes on that son of a gun. Sure, I'll buy the steaks, but I ain't paying the taxes. People don't understand the grind. All these, you paid, that you got this, and you got that, and you need to pay your fair share. These people don't understand anything about fair share. How about this? And I said this before, and I'll say it again. How about just say thank you, man? As Jack Nicholson would say, would rather just take a thank you and go about your way. That would be nice. Looking to grow more. The hustle should be like a cloud in your mind that doesn't go away. I love that, Ryan. There it is. That's exactly what I'm talking about. The grind is something like when you're making it, when you're trying to make something of yourself, when you're trying to make something for your family. Not that it should be anxiety every day. That's not what I'm talking about. Is that you understand the world in the way it works, because then you can't be bitter when you have prepared yourself for the way that the world works. You know, it happens instantaneously. And if you're just sitting around complacent, not recognizing the world for what it is, when it happens to you, you can be angry at everybody, which keeps you from being motivated after you've had your legs, cut from under you. That's the part. Like when you don't see it coming and you get, boom, sucker punched. You get down on the ground because you're asking yourself, you spend so much time focusing on how did I let that happen? Instead of understanding that it will and being ready for it. Like you've got to go in, it's like going into a boxing match. It's not about knowing that you could lose. It's about preparing yourself. That's all it is. You're preparing yourself so that you win. Understanding that you could lose. Not going in saying, I might lose. Going in understanding that you could. And with that understanding, knowing that you have to work harder to prevent that loss. Knowing that it's possible anyway. That's how you go into anything. That's how you go into anything fearless. That's how you go in winning. You recognize this could be a loss for me. But the only way I keep that from happening is if I go in there to win. I do everything that's possible to prevent that loss. And so then when the loss happens, you gave it your all. And people see that you gave it your all. And you have an exit strategy. Got to have it. Got to have it. But the rest of these folks, they don't want an extra exit strategy. They want yours. They want your stuff. If they had an exit strategy, they wouldn't need your stuff. We'll be back. All right, Reese on the radio. We are almost back to regular radio as we sit at the top of the 8th inning in the Red Sox game. So that should be ending, I want to say, within at least next 40 minutes at best, so you can get back to the radio side of the program. And again, if you're just joining us, we're going to have Richard Mette, who's running in the 22nd House District, and Tim Nodds is running for State Senate in the 2nd District. Both of them will be our guests on the program today, and we'll have some other information for you as well. I did get a response from Senator Richard Blumenthal's office, which I will read to you now. They responded. I sent them a note earlier today. So you know me, I always believe in full disclosure. I wrote, "Good morning. Any way we can get a statement from the senator about his about this new development as it relates to Seyo, Sejunka Janin, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce his name. Seyo, you know the deal. Anyway, we understand that the senator may take issue with the account Libs of TikTok, but this does not negate the veracity of this information." And of course, that is the article by Libs of TikTok that said an illegal alien who Connecticut Senator Richard Blumenthal and other Democrat officials rallied to support after he was detained by ICE is registered to vote in Connecticut despite not being a citizen. That's what Libs of TikTok wrote. And it gained a lot of attention because of it. And Libs of TikTok posts the press conference that yours truly attended, as well as the actual document where Seyo calls himself a U.S. citizen. I did get a response from the senator's office. It says, "Hi, Reese. Thanks for checking in. Here is a statement that you can attribute to Senator Blumenthal." It says, quote, "My office has contacted the relevant state agencies and is seeking more information," end quote. I wrote, "Thank you. Will we get an update when those agencies respond? I have yet to receive an answer from them yet, but I told you we would be on the job and we would get a statement." We have. We're also going to reach out to John Larson's office. We know that they do not really talk, so I'm going to reach out to Tim Appleton, and see if he can get in touch with someone at the representative's office so we can get a statement from him, and also from the governor's office, which, by the way, Adam 12, please let me know if we got a response from the communications director, Ms. Volman, on these developments, and we'd like to read those statements on the air because we want to know. They owe us a response, and they will give us one. Regardless of what Lieutenant Governor Susan Bicewicz says about answering questions by the real media, there's no such thing, ma'am. Just so you know. There's no such thing. We only take questions from the real media. You'll take questions from anyone who asks. Please understand you are the help. You folks don't get that yet? I'm about to change that here. If you haven't seen the discussion between myself and Luke Bronin, I suggest you get on it. You're the help. Remember, no kings. No kings. I want everybody to recognize. So when everybody turns their lip up or scrunches their nose like somebody farted in the room when someone asked them a tough question, get used to it. The days of riding high where everybody was patting you on the butt with baby powder are over. You're the help. I want to treat you just the way I would my housekeeper. Why is that a mess? Did you make these beds? Who's doing the laundry? You're the help. I don't understand how you don't get it. Does that freak you out? Are you losing your head behind that? Do you not see that? Do you not understand the capacity of your employment? Did you get the impression that in some way you were in charge? You are not. We put you in charge. In essence, we delegate you to do the stuff that benefits us. See how that works? You're the help. Now go make me my chicken pot pie. Okay, it's a Breakfast Club reference, for those of you who know. There's some guy in there who heard that and just went, they got it. I can't believe these people. She told Adam 12 at the press conference the other day, we're only taking questions from real media. You don't have a choice. Do you think you have a choice? Who do you think you don't answer to the real media. You answer to the people. If the media isn't asking the question of the people, who do you think you answer to then? The audacity of these people. I couldn't believe she actually twisted her mouth to say something so dumb. No kings. We only answer who we want to answer to. You're illegitimate. Who do you think you are? You can't answer. Ask me questions. Who is you? Who is you? Can't be asking me no questions. You know who I is? I'm a lieutenant gunner. You come around here and ask me no questions. I wish I was there. I wish one of you would. In a press conference I wish one of you had the audacity to say that to me, to my face. Come sideways with that. We only take questions from the legitimate media. I'm sorry, what? Who do you think you're talking to? You better answer my question. Are you bugging? I would strong-arm your press conference in a heartbeat. You ever give me a ridiculous answer like that? Half of these people don't even have journalism degrees. Are you talking? What are you talking about? Half of these people are nothing more than your sycophant fans. Legitimate media. I've never seen anybody say something so dumb. I can't believe it. Actually, it's been filmed. And again, can I say something to the press corps? How dare you allow that to stand? The fact that anybody would stand there and allow that to happen, what's wrong with you? I give it up to, I'm even going to say his name because I want to put him out there because I just want to say there's some of you out there that got enough guts. Say, if you ever do that to anybody who's a member of the press, I promise you there will be hell to pay. I give them props for that. They don't owe me a thing. Lord knows I don't owe them nothing. But at least they stood up for the freedom of the press. And they made it clear. It's like, dude, we're not tolerating that. Ever. Don't care who you are. You treat somebody who came to that press conference to ask questions like they don't deserve to be there. That ish don't fly. Never. If you did it to one of them, I mean, literally, I would make you look so stupid for ever repeating it. And I understand now that they're playing the whole, we apologize. We didn't mean to do that. You should know better. We're only taking questions from the legitimate media. Yeah, Priscilla, I apologize. That you're 100% right. Priscilla writes, because some of the media believe that they are above us too. That's true. They don't think they report to us. They think that they tell us the news. That's the difference. They're not reporters. You do understand, a reporter, the genesis of that is to report to us. We report to you. Like, I can't believe that when I got here at WTIC, when I started telling people, like, there were people who came up to me and said, Reese, thank you for telling us that you come here to represent us, that you are there to inform us, to report to them, that you are seeking our vote every day, because no one talks to us like that. No one treats us like we are important. No one treats us like the problems that we have matter. And I had to sit up here and like, what? I didn't, no offense to the Connecticut School of Broadcasting, but I didn't need to go there to recognize that. I knew that from the jump. A lot of people play this game, and it's very true. I'll tell you a little bit of inside baseball. A lot of people treat this whole medium, especially radio or media, and it's like, how can we get the eyeballs? How can we do that? And everybody's looking for gimmicks. There is no gimmick, folks. It's as simple as that song. Got to give the people what they want. What do the people want? They just want you to tell the truth. Stop propagandizing them. Stop with the agenda nonsense. And if you are being agenda-based, say that. Everybody knows that I'm a conservative. They know it, bottom line. But no one's ever going to argue that I'm fair. Huh? No one's ever going to make that argument that I'm not. No one's going to make the argument that I don't sit here and have a conversation with the people I disagree with, because I do it every day. I try to. Still going to maintain me. There is no gimmick to this. It's real simple. We only take questions from the real media. You know what that is? That's code word for we only take soft questions, because the tough ones we don't want to be embarrassed about. We only take questions from people who don't give us a hard time or hold us to any account. That's why. You people with real questions that we may not be able to answer or may make us look bad, no, we're not taking any questions from you. Your concerns don't matter to us. That's what they're really saying. You're probably asking questions that real constituents want answered. We don't want to answer those questions. We want newsroom questions only. What do you want, Bob? How can I help you? Yes, the governor likes vanilla ice cream. Absolutely. Yes, he does. Yes. He had some yesterday. Absolutely. Next question. Oh, this dress? I borrowed from Ross. Thank you for your questions. That is all. Thank you for coming out. There's no gimmick. There's no gimmick. This is easy. This is easy. Sit in a chair, tell the truth. That's it. Everybody else sitting around and going, what are we going to do with sweep? Sweep. What are we going to do? What stunt you got planned, Johnny? These people don't get it anymore. I love them. I love them. Idiots. Idiots. What's he doing that's different over there at WTIC? Come on, Johnny, tell me what's he doing that's different over there in WTIC that we could do here? I don't know. I got my guest outside. People are making sure that that I know my people are out there. It's no gimmicks. People try to categorize it as so many different things, but it's not. It's not a bunch of different things. It's real simple. You know, and again, I trust myself to know that this is what you want. And if I could be so bold, I'll tell you this. I go at this as a listener. I know I've told you this before, but some of you may be new to this concept. Is that I come into radio being a listener and I say, what would be important to me as a listener? And that is that I can trust the guy, and I feel like he cares about me, that he's talking to me independently. When I came up with the chat room, imagine a world, and this is what I love about this chat room. There are people who exclusively go here for this program, exclusively, who chime in right here directly like they are sitting on my right-hand side, communicating with me every day, and they talk to each other in some of the forums, telling each other things like happy birthday. Hey, what did you do this weekend? A community is being built here. That's the whole idea. They are a part of something. They're informed, they inform, they share, they debate, they care about one another. This isn't rocket science. It doesn't have to be. I simply appeal to human nature, and I don't exploit it. If I exploit anything, it is the human nature of people who wish to do good and to care about one another. That is what I appeal to. At the same time, I always give personal anecdotes. I'm not high on any horse. I'm not better than anybody. I don't think I'm smarter than the world. I engage from a point of view from my own experience. I cut through the nonsense, especially the narrative that people force you to listen to or try to get you to believe. And when you're ticked off and you're angry and you're screaming and hollering about this person saying that and this person saying this, I cut through that noise and I give you a perspective that gets you to calm down, that grabs you by the back of your shirt and pulls you off the ledge. That has always been what I did here at WTIC, is to say, don't jump out the window. It's okay. It's not what you think it is. Remember when everybody was screaming it was going to be a civil war? Who was the person who told you no? I did. Right? When you were told it was going to be martial law, who told you it wasn't going to be? I did. When everybody thought it was going to be this, that, and the third, what did I do? I told you, chill. Calm down. I gave you perspective. And I proved that I was right when I was right. Not for the sake of being right, but just to get you to calm down. And now, it's a completely different world. You're going to have your naysayers. You're going to have your people going to say, yeah, maybe. That's fine. That's okay. But I made it a comfortable place. I'm working on it, just working on it being a comfortable place where two people can get together who disagree with one another and hash those things out and find common ground. And even if they can't find common ground, they can walk away with it, turn their backs on each other, and not have to worry about the other person attacking them. That they can walk away to their respective silos and then possibly come back and do it again. Or when they see each other, they talk to each other, there's something built there. A trust even. This ain't rocket science. There's no gimmicks. So when somebody comes to your press conference and they ask you a legitimate question, instead of being on the defensive, oh, it's that Reese guy, just answer the question. There's nothing for you to be defensive about. If what you believe and what you're standing on is absolute truth, even if it's nonsense, if it's real, if it's authentic and it's genuine, you should not be threatened by a question that challenges it. You should be all that interested in answering that or dispelling that question. You should have an answer for it. I get those questions all the time, and I have an answer for it because, again, my position isn't fickle. When people throw me a wrench and I go, oh, damn it, I didn't think of that. I can admit that. Hadn't thought of it that way. None of these people, man, do you see at this press conference, especially the ones who say, we're not taking any questions from anybody but legitimate media, it's because they're not prepared for tough questions. It is about what they believe, and that is it. There is no debate. The science is clear. The evidence is clear. It's our way or the highway. That's why I wish I would have been there. Ever let that woman say some nonsense like that to me. You don't determine what the legitimate media is. You never will. You don't have the authority to tell me what is or isn't legitimate. You're the help. They got to start recognizing that. Please believe that is my mission. Let these people know their place. They are not our rulers, nor our leaders. We are the leaders. They do what we say. And I don't care if they vote for them. I don't care if the Democrats vote for Democrats all day. They can vote for them all day, but even Democrats have to recognize the people that they are electing work for them, not the other way around. Let's get our first check of traffic. Mark Christopher's back. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. We should probably be back on the air by the time we return. Stand by. It's more Reese on the radio when we return.
Sox built this team on pitching.
Yep.
Tex Houston, a team that won 100.
votes next week on the Blanche confirmation. Police in Newington say they've identified the driver who struck a cruiser yesterday. They used data from a flock camera to find him, and they've applied for an arrest warrant.
Just before 4:30 Tuesday, officers attempted to stop a white Honda Accord for a traffic stop in the Dollar Tree store lot on Cedar Street. The vehicle in question had committed several violations, say police. The officer positioned the cruiser in front of the Honda with siren and lights deployed. That's when they say the driver of the vehicle intentionally hit the police cruiser, threw the vehicle in reverse, and then hit it again before fleeing the scene.
WTIC's John Silva reporting. Oil prices climbing about 3% today. U.S. crude at $87 a barrel, Brent crude at $94, up 30% for the month. AAA reporting the average gas price is up 4 cents today to $4.06 a gallon. It's up 17 cents in the last week, and the average is now $4.15 in Connecticut. On Wall Street, the Dow down 5 points, S&P dropping 10. The NASDAQ is minus 146. Sports, lots of baseball this afternoon. The Red Sox and Orioles playing too. As you heard over the air on AM 1080, the Red Sox beat Baltimore 6-3. Jarren Duran a 2-run triple, but more importantly, the Red Sox with their 15th straight win, tying the franchise record. And the next game at 7 p.m. also on WTIC. Yankees and Pirates also playing too in Game 1. Top of the 10th inning, they're tied at 3. Ben Rice a 3-run shot earlier, his 30th. Brewers lead the Mets 3-2 in the 5th, and the Yard Goats in Richmond. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
Men, if your energy is down, your workouts aren't producing results, you're gaining stubborn weight, losing muscle, sleeping poorly, or just not feeling like yourself anymore, it may be more than just aging. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. Our low T and body composition treatments are designed to help men regain energy, improve focus, sleep better, build lean muscle, reduce unwanted fat, and restore confidence both in and out of the gym. At Northeast Men's Health, we specialize in helping men optimize their health, performance, and vitality. Using personalized medical treatments tailored to your health and goals, many men begin noticing improvements in energy, mental clarity, recovery, motivation, libido, and overall body composition within just a few weeks. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes PSA and a T-test and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 7 offices, including our new office in Bridgewater.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Reese is on the radio. Hey, hey. Here we go now. He's on the radio. Hey, hey. One time, hey. He's on the radio. Hey, hey. Give it to him now. He's on the radio. Hey, hey. Yo, we never finish 'cause the party don't stop. Hey. The way we consider the politics, we on top. Hey. We flip it like sandals, except we never flop. Hey. And when we drop, you know we gon' pop. Hey. Reese is on the radio. Hey. Here we go now. Reese is on the radio. Hey. One time, come on. Reese is on the radio. Hey. Give it to him now. Reese is on the radio. Go.
Okay, Reese on the radio. We are back on the air. Congratulations to the Red Sox. 15 games in a row. Still in third place, though. Trying their best to get ahead. Sitting across from me is a man running in the 22nd House District. We'll talk to him momentarily, and it turns out that I've completely butchered his name, too. It is Richard Mette, not Mette, as no one bothered to tell me because I asked 4 different times, but they finally told me who he is. He's going to join us in a little bit. We'll talk to him about his campaign because he has started a campaign that I really, really like because I've worked on these before. It is a grassroots campaign, so it is raw from the bottom, and when you have that kind of momentum from the bottom, it's the same thing I was saying just earlier about getting the grind in, understanding that you could lose, but what you put into it is based upon fighting against that loss. And you learn so much about yourself, about what you can do, what you can't do, what your limits are, and how far you can go by doing that. So he's going to be a great conversation for a lot of people who need an inspiration in this time, who normally don't have it, because joining in politics is not. It's a blood sport, folks. It's a blood sport, and you will get dirty. I always say this is the best way I could describe it. Politics are like a cheating wife. She can promise you every day that she's never going to cheat on you, but she will. But it's what you do to keep her is what matters. It's just one of those things. Sorry, it's crude, but that's the way I look at it. We'll be back. We got to check weather and traffic. Mark Christopher's back. He is in the PPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, good afternoon. If you're heading into Hartford right now, the southbound side of 91 delays 33 down to 32 A and B. A little slow again down by 27 and 28. If you are traveling on the southbound side of 91 in Meriden, delays 19 down to 17 for the Wilbur Cross Parkway. 91 northbound running a little slow between 21 and 22 in Cromwell. If you're westbound 84, tied up 56 Governor Street out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound slows about a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue to the Bulkley. Tight again 58 out to 59 into 384 interchange. Also seeing some slow traffic 15 northbound from the Charter Oak Bridge up to the 84 East on-ramp in East Hartford. 291 westbound slowing exit 2 up to the Bissell Bridge in Windsor. And if you're traveling 9 northbound, you got delays Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. Again, 9 north slowing 32 in Berlin up to the 72 interchange in New Britain. 84 eastbound Waterbury slowing approaching 17 up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. Mark the traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
A little breezy out there as we get rid of some of the thunderstorms. Could there still be a thunderstorm into this evening in a few spots? Possibly, but for the most part, we're quieting down, and tonight becomes partly cloudy, a little cooler with a low of 60 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, less humid, a nice setup for the day, a high of 81. Tomorrow night will be clear with a low of 57. It's a refreshing feeling heading into Friday, where we're mostly sunny, a high of 82. We'll keep the good times rolling with a beautiful setup for the weekend. Saturday is mostly sunny, a high of 83, and Sunday is partly sunny with a high of 82. Right now it's 80 in Manchester, 81 in Bristol, and 84 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Melissa Constanzer in the WTIC Weather Center.
For all station contest rules, go to WTIC.com and click contests. That's WTIC.com and click contests.
Does your morning start the same way every day? You wake up, walk into the bathroom, look into the mirror, and think, wow, this bathroom really needs an update. Then it's time to visit Modern Plumbing Supply. Our 8,000 square foot showroom is filled with hundreds of beautiful faucets, sinks, vanities, toilets, and so much more. Update your bathroom with Modern Plumbing Supply, and the only thing you'll have to worry about when you look in the mirror is your hair. Modern Plumbing Supply showroom on the Berlin Turnpike in Berlin.
Great design with you in mind. Modern Plumbing Supply.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, we are back and we are live, and it is a pleasure to be back on the regular radio. And that's the reason why we pushed back your interview, Richard, because we didn't want you to be online where barely anybody was listening. We wanted to make sure that people can hear you. So thank you so much for being a part of the show and for being patient with us. You have you always been a Connecticut born and bred?
Yeah, I was born in Milford.
Okay.
Raised in Milford, Connecticut.
Okay.
So I was a lifelong resident, lifelong Republican.
Lifelong Republican.
Yes,
and you've
sir.
got quite a resume, if I may. You're a retired senior aerospace quality manager at Sikorsky Aircraft.
Yes,
Is that correct?
I was, yes.
What was that experience like?
It was very challenging at times. We overhauled, and it was in the aftermarket, overhaul and repair. And a lot of times what our work was working on both U.S. military, foreign military, some VIP helicopters like Marine One and others, which is presidential. It was just a great cross-section of Connecticut people working hard, all pulling, trying to get the best product and the safest product out to our young men and women in the military. So it was fantastic.
There's a level of, I'm going to say, dedication to a work that's like that. It can be stress-inducing. Am I right?
Yes, it can be stress. I can remember getting calls in the middle of the night, especially during the time that we had both the Afghanistan and the Iraq conflicts going on, where a pilot or a commander needed some parts, and we would ship it out the next morning. It would get onto a plane and fly out and get it to them as quickly as possible. So, yeah, there was a lot of nights like that where you would get a call.
Yeah, so, and that's because I've worked in that, what would be considered logistics. Am I right about that?
More of the quality side. So the bringing a quality part back to a serviceable condition.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's because I worked in a logistics company that sort of operated like a FedEx would, but you know how FedEx or UPS work overnight? We had to do it same day. We had imagine like you had to travel the country, sometimes get it in the next. You have to get it to Canada from like Georgia, but you had to have it the same day, delivered immediately. So you had to have somebody pick it up, put it on a plane, a cargo plane usually, and then get it somewhere.
Yep, identical logistics.
Yeah.
But we would have an inventory per contract.
Same, so do we. Yeah, same deal.
We would carry for the U.S. military when they were in need of a part. We would get it out to them as fast as possibly could.
So having dealt with that kind of stress, I guess politics a lateral move then, right?
Well, I'm finding that out a little bit. Yeah, there's some stresses in politics.
Yeah.
But if we don't step up and lead, who will? When I first started looking at this and I got my first calls about this about a year ago in the summer, it took me a long time to make a decision because it is a little bit of a blood sport, like you said before.
Well, you said, wait a minute, you said it took you a while to make a decision. Was someone asking you to do this, or was this? Okay, so talk to me a little bit about that.
Sure. We had some people from the Southington Republican Town Committee, some from Plainville. I also spoke to Dr. Bill Pettit, who used to have this seat, and spoke to him for quite a while, talking about what the job curtails, and how you work it, and how you have to, reach across lines, party lines, and things of that nature. So then I did research, and then it started coming into focus when you saw that we were the third highest energy costs, and all the things we're hearing now, the second highest tax burden in the nation, and there's so many. The list is so long.
Right.
They started saying we have a problem, and the biggest problem is spending. We overspend, we overtax, and it's partly because we have a one-party rule. You remember in 2017, we had an equal Senate, and we had a close to equal House. We made great decisions in 2017, 2018, 2019.
There were concessions that had to be made.
Each side had to give a little. Right now, that is not happening for the last close to 15 years or so. It's been slowly eroding, and it's a one-party rule, and that never works.
What would you consider like the key resonating policy that you have that sort of gained your momentum? Because you're a grassroots sort of startup, if you will, in politics. But and you've gained some ground here. You've become very popular in a lot of circles. The only reason why I even know you is because people who know me were like, you got to talk to this guy.
Yes.
You have an impeccable reputation, and people seem to really, really like what you want to do for Plainville. And I'm sorry, in Plainville, Farmington, and Southington, they really, really have sort of glommed onto your campaign. What do you find is the key issue that you are fighting for?
I think the biggest key issue is when you look at Bill SB 1, which was the bill that funded the Connecticut for 2027, the Democrats spent another $800 million over. They just voided the guardrails that we had in place that we agreed to, both parties agreed to. And they spent did a bunch of emergency bills where the governor,
Sure.
like a king, can just say, oh, this is an emergency, and the money goes out.
Yeah.
Where the Republicans, when I looked at what they were working on, they were looking to reduce spending by $167 million under the guardrails.
Yeah.
Return taxes back to the people. One of the great bills that portion of one of the bills that they had that was a balanced budget, the Republican House, it was a school taxpayer relief plan.
Yeah.
Okay, and it was going to put about $365 million into the school system. The Democrats wouldn't even talk about it. Okay, it would have given the school systems the ability to do some strategic long-term planning, because now they would be sharing this $365 million every year for years to come.
Wow.
And then you could plan, you can say, okay, we want to improve our reading scores, we want to improve our math scores, and now you could have some money to actually do something and not affect the mill rates, the property taxes. And that's where they keep taking it from.
It was so crazy because that was a thing. The governor kept bragging about how much opportunity he was giving these towns to lower their taxes, but no town would. I mean, they never took advantage of the opportunity to lower either mill rates or property taxes. They were always just spending and spending and spending.
The only way you can do that is if you lower some of the spending.
Yeah.
You have to rate it. You have to rate the spending just like you do in a business. If you're looking at revenue coming into you're not going to spend it all. You have to keep a certain amount. You have to decide what your top maybe 10 or 15 goals are, long-term goals, put money on that, and stop giving something for nothing.
Yeah.
And that's what we're seeing right now in Connecticut.
Folks, if you're just joining us, we're here live with Richard Mette, who's running for the 22nd House District in Plainville, Farmington, and Southington, which in essence is my district. The challenger is, and I've had their name here, Rebecca Martinez.
Yes.
Democrat.
Yes.
I hope you're not offended by me saying this to you, but one, I listened to your voice. Second, I'm looking at you.
Mm-hmm.
I immediately thought that you had an Hispanic background. Is that been said?
My mother was Portuguese.
Okay.
My grandfather came from Brazil, from Portugal.
Okay.
Portuguese-speaking Brazil.
Okay.
My grandmother, my mother's mother, and aunts and uncles came from the Azores.
Okay.
So I'm a little bit of a mix. Have some French on my father's side.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I only know the swear words in Portuguese.
Hey, that's all. That's all you need. That's all you need.
I don't know how to speak it, and that's a shame.
Yeah, well, that's okay. Don't. That's okay. You know the swear words. Technically, you speak another language. So you join this campaign. You do it from the grass. Now, is there a reason why you did it in the fashion that you did? Was this what was the process of which you went to?
Well, the process, we didn't end up doing a committee. So we just went right into fundraising.
Mm-hmm.
We started fundraising back on our first event was May 14th.
Okay.
And we were ready to go to the state in the first week of July.
Okay.
And it's in the state. We're working with them right now on a few things they, want fixed, and we're working on that, and that'll be done probably by the weekend.
Do you what's your relationship with the current Republican Party, the Republican leadership? Is your relationship with members of the party who are either endorsing you, or are you going it alone? What's that like?
We're going to be getting endorsements from many.
Okay.
We've met with many.
Okay.
We've had a lot of conversations before I started.
Okay.
And we've had a lot of conversations since.
Okay.
Senator Henry Martin, Senator Rob Sampson, House Representative. We have a number one that comes to mind is Joe Paletta.
Okay.
House Whip. We've been talking to them because it is my first time.
Sure.
And I want to do it right, and I don't want to make mistakes. You're going to, but I'm not going to do it because I didn't do my homework.
Right.
Basically.
What was, because I look at, again, you said, I mentioned being a blood sport. There are processes in politics that many of us are not comfortable with. And people have always said, it was like, Reese should run for something. I got to tell you, my biggest problem, fundraising. I won't ask people for money. Was that difficult? Every person I've ever had sitting in that seat says the same thing. I don't like asking people for money. Do you run through?
The first couple were.
Yeah.
And then there was this one older woman that I met, and she gave me $5 and a signed form. And we talked at a pancake breakfast. We talked for quite some time.
Yeah.
She needed some help with a son. I called Senator Martin, and he's working with her to try to. Her son had a stroke, 62 years old.
Oh, wow.
Paralyzed. And so we got her some help with Henry, and he's working with her and with the commission to get his reviews and everything else done so he can get some coverage. After doing that and seeing what it did for her, I started saying, hey, this is, you could do some good with this.
Yeah, why not,
It doesn't
right?
have to just be the blood sport.
Yeah.
We can get some good out of this. We can fix and help people's in their daily lives, and as long as we are willing to listen to people.
All right, well, enough about me.
Okay.
You got a whole bunch of stuff highlighted here that I know you want to get to because most of this is about you, not about me. I just wanted to get to know you a little bit. What are some of the things that you want to let people know, of course, in the immediate area?
Well, before I did this, I've been running I'm a little bit like Roosevelt, Teddy. I'm a conservationist. So I ran the Trout Unlimited state of Connecticut, about 4,000 members. We did a lot of work in both conservation and rivers. We do trout in the classroom. We do a veterans programs for veterans with PTSDs, which is very important, and we have about 50 veterans in the program. So we're doing a lot of events like that, and that's what I was doing when I was asked to get involved in this. I had a lot of experience at the state capitol, getting bills passed for different environmental bills, and helping different organizations that we worked with get that done. I also had a lot of experience in Washington, D.C., where I would go and meet with the FAA for different regulatory needs. Used to go to the meet with chief of staffs, the senators, and things of that nature, and House rep. And we also did a lot with the U.S. military. So I had a lot of opportunities to meet both in-house at Sikorsky's and in the Pentagon and places like that with the U.S. military. So my experience is kind of with Sikorsky's and everything else I have done. I've done some work in a private jet company, Wheels Up Private Jets. It kind of leans towards finding a solution to a problem.
Gotcha.
And everything in aircraft and in aviation, it's finding solutions to problems. Okay, it's looking at all the risks, looking at the root causes, and coming up with 5 whys and everything else to say, how can you do this better?
Right.
And I don't think right now, looking at some of the stuff, that Connecticut is doing that. Our budget has run away. We just said $800 million they added to the budget, pretty much wiped out the guardrails. Didn't listen to anything the other side offered, like we talked about. So it's just concerning to me that we're still going in the wrong direction. And when you look at some of the recent articles, like the University of New Hampshire just had an article, a study, a survey, and they surveyed all the New England states. Connecticut was the worst. 4 in 10 people are saying they may be moving out of Connecticut
in the next 5 years.
The next 5 years. How do we keep spending the way we're spending with 4 in 10 leaving the state of Connecticut?
Do you know what my response to that was? And you said you were a problem solver. I'm a problem solver too. So I said, if you're going to be leaving, 4 out of 10 people are going to be leaving in the next 5 years. Before you go, can you just vote red?
Yep.
Just before you leave.
Yep.
Stick it to the people who made you leave.
Because if you look at the affordability studies, the states that are most affordable have Republican governors and have Republican houses. The states that are the least affordable, the 10, and this was a CNBC study, or a survey, the least affordable states, which we are one of those 10 poorest performing, all have one thing in common. They have Democratic governors and they have supermajorities.
That's right.
Supermajority, whether it's us or them, does not work. It works best when 2 sides come together and come up with a solution that helps each get a goal completed.
Well, I'll go one step further, Richard. I think that the role of those folks, as I've been making the argument forever, is like, look, they've got to serve the people that they want to stay. Because after a while, when they're gone, the only way you pay for all of the nonsense that you want to, establish in the state, you're going to have to raise taxes on the people who cannot afford to leave.
Yes, and
you know
those
what I mean?
are the people that cannot afford to pay taxes.
Exactly.
The Republicans, one of the things we had in the balanced budget bill that they didn't take up was to reduce taxes on the lower, the 3.5% and lower. Get some tax relief for them so they can afford things. Every time you get tax relief for somebody, they can spend more money in the state of Connecticut, which drives our economy. Okay, let's just think for a moment of all the companies that have left Connecticut.
Yeah.
General Electric, Aetna, Raytheon United Technologies headquarters, Frontier. We can go on and on. We just
Lego,
had
Duracell.
Lego, Black & Decker.
I gotta wrap it up here, Richard.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that, but go to Richard Mette's website. It's Rich Mette, and it's METTE 22.
22.
That 22.com. RichardMette22.com. So you can show him your support. Are you going to give me your card? Or is
Yeah,
that
sure.
Okay, well, give me this, and I promise I will promote this. Oh, yeah, it's the
Okay.
card that I got that started this whole
Okay.
conversation.
Yeah, fantastic.
Let's get another check of weather and traffic. Mark
Thank
Christopher's
you.
back. Thank you, sir. We are, Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading 84 eastbound into Hartford, delays about a half mile before 46th Avenue to the Bulkley. East of the river is tied up now 56 Governor Street out to 59 into 384 interchange. Also slowing up 15 northbound as you move over the Charter Oak Bridge, Hartford into East Hartford to the 84 East ramp. If you're traveling westbound 84, you've got delays approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 47. 91 southbound delays 33 down to 32 A and B, and again 27 to 28. More slow traffic approaching 19 to 17 in Meriden. Northbound 91's a little slow, 22 in Cromwell. 2 westbound slows, 1D up to the 84 West merge in East Hartford. 291 westbound tight from exit 2 up to the Bissell Bridge in South Windsor. Both sides of 9 heavy approaching the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown. 9 northbound, you're tied up from 32 in Berlin up to the 72 interchange in New Britain. Westbound 84 Waterbury slows 22 to the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound Waterbury tight approaching 17 up to the Mixmaster. And if you are traveling southbound in the Parkway, look for delays 50 in Hamden into the West Rock Tunnel. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
We are still humid today with sun and clouds. That's led to a few showers and thunderstorms passing through. Watch out for damaging wind gusts as we come down from a high in the mid-80s. Tonight, we're partly cloudy with a low of 60 degrees, a little cooler for us. And tomorrow is mostly sunny, less humid, a high of 81. Tomorrow night will be clear with a low of 57. And Friday is mostly sunny with a high of 82. We head into a beautiful weekend. This is meteorologist Melissa Constanzer in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
83 degrees right now in Hartford. I'm Dave Migger, WTIC 1080 News. Some storms now lingering in Windham County. Those thunderstorms now on their way to Rhode Island. Low around 60 tonight, high about 80 and dry tomorrow. Tropical storm Bertha has made landfall on the southern tip of Louisiana with winds up to 100 miles an hour. Northern Gulf Coast beaches are closed. Bertha struck land about 40 miles east of New Orleans. Storm surges up to 3 feet are expected. The CDC now tracking at least 11,000 cases of cyclosporiasis around the country. That's the parasite-caused illness causing extreme gastrointestinal distress.
Well, health officials have linked some of these cases to shredded iceberg lettuce served at Taco Bell restaurants in 5 states. They are looking into other potential sources as well. Taylor Farms has issued a voluntary recall of all their iceberg lettuce grown in central Mexico. Those products went to American food distributors, fast food chains, and grocery stores, all now working to ensure those products are pulled from the supply chain.
ABC's Yuri Benajad there. There are 60 cases confirmed in Connecticut. West Haven police identified the victim of a fatal stabbing Sunday afternoon on Meadowbrook Court. 35-year-old Robert Picarillo of Branford was killed. They've arrested 24-year-old Wilkins Castillo of West Haven. He's charged with murder and is held on $1 million bond. At Dover Air Force Base, the U.S. military conducted the dignified transfer of 4 U.S. service members killed in the Middle East. President Trump was there. He's now warned that the U.S. will destroy a bridge or power plant each time Iran fires at a ship in the Strait of Hormuz, which remains largely closed. The president is also threatening a site that may contain Iranian nuclear material.
Trump has said that he believes that centrifuges from Iran's nuclear program may be being moved to Pickaxe Mountain into these tunnels so deeply buried underground in this mountain. Now, Trump isn't saying that he doesn't believe that uranium is at this site yet. Uranium is what's needed to basically make a nuclear weapon. Iran long has insisted that its program is peaceful, but the United States last year bombed 3 Iranian nuclear sites to stop its enrichment of uranium.
The AP's John Gambrell reporting. Less than 3 weeks from Election Day, a debate in the race for the Democratic nomination for governor. Incumbent Ned Lamont and challenger Josh Elliott. That's at 7 o'clock tonight on WTNH Channel 8. With oil prices up about 3% today, we check Wall Street. The Dow was down 6 points. The S&P lost 10 points. The Nasdaq was minus 146. Sports, Red Sox and Orioles playing too, as heard on AM 1080, the 15th straight win for Boston, tying the franchise record set in 1946. Final score, Red Sox over the Orioles 6-3. Next game from Fenway, also on WTIC, of course, with the pregame at 6:10. Yankees and Pirates also playing too. Game 1, Pittsburgh wins 5-3 in 10 innings. The Brewers lead the Mets 4-2 in the 7th, the Yard Goats in Richmond. And Little League softball regional play in Bristol, the semis. Bristol beat Cranston, Rhode Island 11-1, so Bristol plays for the regional championship and a trip to the World Series tomorrow. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
Coverage varies by plan, view contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission, $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-253-6203. 800-253-6203. 800-253-6203.
WTIC News Talk 1080 is celebrating America's 250th birthday all month long. So we're asking, what does being American mean to you?
As a first-generation immigrant, I believe it provides you the freedom of opportunity to make yourself into something that you want to be. And a lot of people consider it to be a country, but the reality of it is it's a whole opportunity for you to become 1% of the population as long as you just push yourself.
This American moment is sponsored by Cussin Automotive.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-358-6868. That's 800-358-6868. Again, 800-358-6868.
Stay locked in. Reese on the radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, a busy day. We had the Red Sox win their 14th in a row. Give it up to them. 15th, I apologize. That's right, 15th in a row. Go for it. And then coming up is this gentleman right here running for the Senate seat that used to be held by Doug McCrory. Tim Knott is with us. He's going to join us in a little bit. We'll talk to him about his campaign and a whole lot more. Stand by for that. I am supposed to, if you give me a second here, I want to make sure that I got this right. Okay. Tomorrow, I just got this update, folks, so stand by. Tomorrow at what appears to be at 5:35 tomorrow, we will be speaking to Jessica Jones, the mother of J. Allen Jones. She just sent me a text message, which I'll read to you. She says, "Good evening, Reese. This is Jessica from your message. I got your message from Miss Fair. That being said, I will be able to read an on-air statement I have regarding the release of the video. I will be available for the last slot of the day. Thank you." So she'll be here on the program on the phone because she is in Georgia at about 5:41 tomorrow near the end of the show. So stand by for that. I don't think that she's going to have or take a lot of questions. I will try to at least ask her one or two, just, maybe some fundamental things like how she's doing, how she's coping. But she does want to come on the air, and she does want to read a statement about the video that has been released. She has not spoken about that release since it came out. So stand by for that. Let's get a check again of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher's back. He's at the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you, and good afternoon, everyone. And if you are making your way into the Hartford area right now, look for delays 91 southbound as you move down from exit 36 down to 35. Again, 33 down to 32 A and B in Hartford. Another bump 27 down to 28. And more slow traffic in Meriden, 19 down to 17. Northbound 91's a little slow by exit 22 in the Route 9 interchange. And again, up by exit 33 Jennings Road. Westbound 84 tied up approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound slowing about a half mile before 46 Avenue in Hartford down to the Bulkley. Again, some sluggish and stop-and-go traffic pretty much from exit 56 right out to exit 59 in the 384 interchange. 15 northbound is heavy over the Charter Oak Bridge as you move Hartford into East Hartford out to the 84 East ramp. If you're traveling 2 westbound, delays 1D up to the 84 West merge in East Hartford. 291 westbound slowing exit 2 to the Bissell. 291 eastbound's tied up from I-91 over to the Bissell Bridge. Both sides of 9 heavy approaching the Aragoni Bridge. 84 westbound in Waterbury tied up from 26 in Cheshire to the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound slowing approaching 17 up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. And look out for an incident now. 95 southbound between 44 and 43 on the New Haven-West Haven line. We have a crash there blocking the right lane on 95 south. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Brought to you by Capital One.
Capital One offers no fees or minimums on checking accounts, and Capital One cafes are open 7 days a week to assist with your banking needs. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bankguy. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
WTIC weather.
We do have some showers moving out of the area, and there could still be one more shower that glances its way on through, but overall, we become quiet tonight as we hit a low of 60 degrees. It's a little cooler, and tomorrow is mostly sunny, less humid, a really nice day, a high of 81 degrees. Tomorrow night will be clear with a low of 57, certainly a cool night for July, and going into Friday, we're mostly sunny with a high of 82. Saturday keeps things bright and beautiful. A great start to the weekend with a mostly sunny sky. We hit a high of 83 degrees and partly sunny on Sunday with a high of 82. Right now it's 80 in Rocky Hill, 85 in Bloomfield, and 84 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Melissa Constanzer in the WTIC Weather Center.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you.
Injured? Dial pound law.
Nicholas Russo, 157 Church Street, New Haven, 06510.
And now, a no-frills ad, brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Here it is. You could save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive. That's it. See? Just a good old-fashioned, straightforward ad. See if you could save at Progressive.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. But not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Okay, we're back and at it. Another guest in the seat, as I like to call it, the hot seat. Mr. Tim Knotts is here, running in the 2nd District, which are part of Bloomfield, Hartford, Windsor, and the surrounding areas, and currently held by Democrat Doug McCrory. I won't have you co-sign on any of the stuff that we're dealing with that guy. I don't want you to have to answer to that because he is in a primary where you might be going up against either he or Crazy Khan, who's in that chair. The woman who had the audacity to blame the police for some lunatic's attack in Hartford.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting primary.
Yeah, it is. Tim, what is the, as I ask everyone, what makes you get into the blood sport of politics? By the way, is this your first time running ever?
It is, yeah.
Okay, so somebody like you, who not only looks like a professor, but is also a teacher. You're a teacher, a former teacher?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gets into this for what reason?
Well, we homeschool our 4 children.
Ah.
And Doug McCrory was the Senate sponsor of the homeschooling bill this
right.
winter. So
this is personal.
It is in a sense, but
no, but I mean,
not.
when I say that, I'm not like personal, like you're being bitter. Is that you've got skin in this game?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about that. I'm sure you showed up at that hearing.
Absolutely.
Because I was there, my wife was there, as were others. You went to that hearing to listen to the people, or especially the children, plead their case. Many of them were young girls who did not fit into regular school and said that being homeschooled was a blessing. They told passionate stories, emotional stories even. And you understood that once this bill passed, that this was the point of no return. Because if you didn't fight this, all is lost, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, it was a 19-hour-long hearing. My wife testified after 1 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
Lots of friends there. The outcry was very one-sided.
Yeah.
Like 99% testimony against the bill.
Yeah.
That was one thing, but really what tipped it over for me was going to watch the floor debate in the House and the Senate, where I watched Republicans ask good questions, ask hard questions, make good points about this bill, and they talked to basically an empty room. The Democrats left. They were out.
Didn't care.
Whatever they wanted to do. There was no debate. They offered amendments. They'd come in. They pressed their button, whatever the leadership told them to do, and out they went. I watched that, and I had 2 of my children with me until midnight watching this
farce.
Yeah, a kangaroo court of a hearing, right?
Yeah.
A vote. And we walked home and said, that can't be the way democracy is supposed to go, right?
What a civics lesson for your children.
Absolutely. So I said, well, who's running? Who can I give money to, right? I want to support whoever's running against this.
Right.
And my RTC, Republican Town Committee, said, well, we don't have anybody. Do you want to run?
Really?
And I said, no, I don't want to run. But I cannot abide the fact that nobody would stand up. Nobody would stand up and say, this is not the way things should go.
Yeah.
This is not listening to the people. This is not a good policy. Nobody is for it except for some special interests.
Sure.
And the statists, right? So I talked to my family. I said, should I do this? And my 2 older kids said, absolutely, you should do this.
Wow.
And so, we're in it. I'm the candidate, but my family is my number 1 support in doing this.
But that's, you know what? You're a testament to something that I preach very often here. It's like sometimes there comes that moment where we can't complain about the thing that's ailing us. We've got to act.
Yeah.
And I know in the beginning you just went, no, I'm not running. And it's just like, and then it comes to that point and says like, somebody's got to step up. And win, lose, or draw, you have to know that you at least put a fight in. Otherwise, it's just we're ceding that ground. We're just giving it up.
Yeah, someone's got to make the point. Someone has to make the argument. Someone has to bring it to the public and put it in front of voters, right? If there's no other voice, if it's just here's your choice. You can vote Democrat or you can write somebody in. That's not a choice.
Yeah.
People need to have that. And if I lose because the people vote that way, I lose because the people vote that way. And I'll be sad but content with that fact.
Right.
But nobody on the line is not okay.
How has this process been for you? Is it been sort of like how much learning has taken place? Are you at 90% learning here? Are you making them good mistakes that you're like, okay, I can do that better? What's that been like?
Yeah, I mean, I only jumped into this race 2 weeks before the nominating conventions were occurring. So it's been a fast and a steep learning curve.
Yeah.
I've had some people who definitely stepped in and taught me some lessons early, gave me a helping hand to get rolling. But all lessons, all the politics are personal politics.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of personal work. It's going out, it's making phone calls, it's meeting people. No one can do that for you.
Who has been the best teacher in all of this, be it in politics or outside of politics? Who have been the sort of motivating leaders or teachers, so to speak?
Yeah. Well, certainly, a couple of the folks in my Republican Town Committee, our chairman.
You give him a shout out, sure.
Yeah, Ron Eleveld and Will Pelkey is my campaign treasurer. They really stepped up and got the ball rolling. I'm a historian, so people from history. I love to look back and read Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy and Ronald Reagan and even farther back, to Cicero and learn what we can learn about. What is public discourse and what is public government supposed to look like?
It's a tough way to ask this question because I know this is personal to you, but I've often asked candidates that I worked with, is there a degree of anger that you have to want to pursue this? What I mean by that is I almost feel like some people run, there's a happy, joyful sort of run. But politics, again, being the blood sport, there has to be a level of, I've had enough. How much of that have you been incorporating into this campaign?
Yeah, I think there's two kinds of politicians. There's the politicians who run for office because they want to be a career politician. They want the halls of power. They want the prestige, whatever the thing is they want out of it. And then there's another kind, the person who runs because they think that they have better ideas, better ways of doing things, better answers than what our current system has. And that's definitely me. I'm in that second camp. And so, yeah, of course, there's some frustration or disappointment in the way things go. And I think if you don't have that, you probably aren't going to be out doing the work.
Does it make you I'm asking you this as an educator, the second part of that same question, because in order for you to influence your students, it's not enough to tell them 2 + 2 equals 4. You have to tell them why that makes sense. You know what I mean? Yeah. Being a politician is you have to convince someone to why they must vote for you. And sometimes getting them across that sort of finish line can be frustrating, or there has to be a degree of which you've got to do, you know what I mean? I say my kids are from the show me state because they never believe you by telling you about your own experience. They have to actually see it. What's that been like as an educator and a politician? Do you ever incorporate the two? I guess is a good question.
Yeah, it's hard because it's noisy out there. Yeah. I mean, you're yelling against all the noise of, the media, but the YouTube channels and the 24-hour news cycle and social media and whatever their neighbors are saying. There's a lot of noise in the room. And people have such short attention spans these days.
Indeed.
So you say what you got to say, and most of the time, it's real short and they move along. But when you get a chance to have the conversation, that's really the gold, right? That's what you get to have that persuasive moment. Right? To show them that there is a better way, or there's something that was different than they thought it was. Either the facts are different, they were mistaken, maybe there's a different perspective than something they thought about. That's when transformation starts to happen.
Yeah, and you can see it. Yeah, and I love that interaction. Well, if you're just joining us, we're here with Tim Knotts, who's running for the state Senate seat in the 2nd District, currently held by Doug McCrory. your exchanges, because I know you're door knocking. What's that like? That's
Yeah.
the only thing. Can I be honest with you? I've never experienced it. So when I hear people are doing the door knocking, it always reminds me of the vacuum cleaner salesman. You know what I mean? It's like there's a degree of rejection that you get when you knock up the door and you say, "Hey, I'm Tim Knotts. I'm running for Senate." What's that experience like?
It's super awkward if you're not a natural self promoter, which some
Yeah.
people are.
Yeah.
Right?
Hey.
I mean, we all know a few of those people.
Hey.
Right. Look at me.
Yeah.
Hey. I mean, because instead of us selling a Bissell vacuum or whatever, you're
Right.
selling yourself as
Yeah.
a candidate.
Yeah.
And that's not my natural state. I tend to be a little bit of a humble guy. I don't want to
Okay.
go around bragging on myself and saying, "Hey, I'm the best thing ever. You should vote for me."
Does it feel awkward when you have to sort of sell yourself?
Absolutely awkward. And it is a little painful when you get the door slammed or the phone hang up, you know?
Yeah.
And you're like, because they aren't hanging up on Bissell, they're hanging up on you.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. Oh, that's such a good point.
So that does hurt. And I tend, I'm not a great politician in that sort of
Gotcha.
that mode of rolls off your back and you don't care what
Yeah,
people
yeah.
say about you. I got to be a little careful about that. I limit my intake of social media too.
I gotcha.
But it is the work, right? It is what's got to be done. You got to have those conversations. Some of them are hard.
Yeah.
Sometimes you run into people who don't agree with you.
Some people who might ask, it was like, okay, so Tim Knotts is running, obviously, because it was a personal thing when it came to the homeschooling. But I'm sure there's some other things that you're running on that you find to either be problematic, abysmal, or things that you would like to change in government as the state senator. What are some of those?
Yeah, and there's a lot of things here.
Okay.
I mean, if you've opened your car bill or your real estate property tax bill or your electrical bill lately,
Yeah.
you know what the number one problem on most people's minds is.
Mm-hmm.
It's outrageously expensive to live here. And a lot of that's driven by state policies. You know, I go to my town council meetings to hear about why they're setting tax rates the way they are. And yeah, some of them are policies that I disagree with, but a lot of them are because Hartford has told them what they got to do.
Yeah.
Right? Hartford's telling them how they have to staff their schools. Hartford's telling them what the kinds of reports they have to have. Hartford's telling them how they got to allocate their zoning laws.
Yeah.
Hartford's telling them where they can or can't put solar farms. Right, Hartford is telling them they got to put a tax on this. They got to fine a levy on that. They have to put a fee over here and call them not taxes.
Yeah.
But they are taxes.
I love it when they use the word investments.
Yeah.
That's my favorite one.
Yeah.
Which is, again, just code word for spending. That's all it is. And investments. Now, I said it to Luke Brono when he was here. I was like, you guys don't understand it. When you use the word investments, I never get a return on it. You know, and they're never talking about that.
Right. Someone does, but it's not me. And it's not you. It's not the other taxpayers here.
That's always the case. So where are you now? Are you still fundraising? Are you beyond that level? Is that you're still fundraising?
I am still fundraising. Yeah.
Oh, he rolls his eyes because he got to do it because you got to ask people for money.
Right. I mean, there's nothing worse than asking people for their hard-earned money.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm here saying you should keep more of your own money. But hey, at least it's a free will choice to give money or not
Absolutely. Give money. Make sure you check out Tim's website. It's timknotts4senate.com, and that's Tim Knotts, Knotts, like Don Knotts.
Just like
by the way, any relation? By chance?
No, I wish.
You wish? No, okay. Because everybody was like, Knotts like, that's the first thing my wife said. She goes, Knotts like Don Knotts? And I went, why do you know that? My wife is too young to know who Don Knotts is. She never even watched Three's Company. Yeah, so well, how would she even know? Not that she's that young. She just never watched them. See, Hartford can't even get a supermarket there, Michael A. says. Can they not? They don't. Yeah, it's true. I don't think I've ever seen a supermarket in Hartford.
No, I lived in the West End the first several years. I lived in Connecticut back in 2002.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a haul. You had to go on down to, a whole nother neighborhood to go find a place to buy your groceries. And yeah, I mean, that's part of that state politics, and part of that's Hartford politics. Part of it's just the property, right? Property values, property taxes, and all the layers of red tape and bureaucracy, and these mandates that Hartford throws on things. I mean, you watched them this year. They're trying to limit how many self-checkout lines can a grocery store operate versus how many manned checkout lines they have. I mean, they want to dabble in all of it.
This is everything. It's like, we've got to find a way to put our finger on something.
Right. We see a problem, we've got a solution.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether it's a good
I think they're inventing the problems that they're trying to solve. That's what are we doing today? Nothing. Oh, we got to come up with something. Tom Knotts, actually, we just heard Lori, our researcher here, says that Don Knotts actually has a son named Tom Knotts.
Well, Tim.
Oh, I know, but it has a
Tim,
but
right,
Tom. But I'm saying Tim, but close enough. Has a son named Tom Knotts. Anyway, but you're well liked. I will tell you that, and you're very, very popular. So good luck to you.
Thank you.
We wish you all the luck in the way, and please let us know if there's anything you need. Of course, go to timknotts4senate.com to help him out as he continues to fundraise, so he can beat Crazy Khan or Doug McCrory, whoever wins that primary. Thank you, man. I appreciate you coming in.
Thanks, Reese.
You got it. All right, let's get another check of traffic and weather. Mark Christopher's back. He's at the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, we have an accident now, 84 eastbound downtown in the tunnel. It looks like it's between exit 50 and 51, and it looks like the right lane, the right through lane in the tunnel is blocked right now. So you're seeing delays now back to about a mile before 46 Sisson Avenue down to the accident. East of the river, just a little slow again out by 59 into 384 interchange. Westbound 84 tied up approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. If you're 91 southbound, you're going to see delays in Windsor between exit 37 and 36. Again, 33 down to 32 A and B in Hartford. Another bump 27 to 28 in Hartford. And more slow traffic as you approach 19 in Meriden down to 17 for the Wilbur Cross Parkway. If you're traveling northbound 91, an accident in Cromwell just prior to exit 22. They moved that over to the right shoulder, so delays are back to 21 behind that. 2 westbound slowing 1D up to the 84 West merge. 291 westbound slowing 2 to the Bissell Bridge. 291 eastbound tied up from I-91 over to the Bissell. If you're heading into Middletown, 9 northbound, both sides of 9, heavy approach in the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown. 9 northbound slowing in Berlin, 32 up to 34. 84 eastbound, Waterbury delays approaching 17 to the Mixmaster. Westbound 84 tied up 691, pretty much right up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury on the westbound side of 84. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
We are still humid today with sun and clouds. That's led to a few showers and thunderstorms passing through. Watch out for damaging wind gusts as we come down from a high in the mid-80s. Tonight, we're partly cloudy with a low of 60 degrees, a little cooler for us. And tomorrow is mostly sunny, less humid, a high of 81. Tomorrow night will be clear with a low of 57. And Friday is mostly sunny with a high of 82. We head into a beautiful weekend. This is meteorologist Melissa Constanzer in the WTIC Weather Center.
This is WTIC News Talk 1080 with Brian and Company in the morning, Reese on the radio in the afternoon, and news around the clock. WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford and Odyssey Station.
83 degrees, 4 o'clock. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. In fact, there's good news for many of you. It's actually 5 o'clock. Some lingering rain now in Windham County. The heaviest storms are now in northern Rhode Island. Low around 60 tonight, high about 80, and dry tomorrow. There was a weak tornado over Westchester County, New York yesterday, and there was also heavy rain and wind in Connecticut, especially in Fairfield and New Haven counties. Norwalk and Brantford saw almost 5 inches of rain. The Target store in Stamford closed today due to flooding, and there was also water inside the Connecticut Post Mall in Milford. Water in many basements as well. Amy Priota is with Professional Cleaning and Restoration Systems in Derby. She says it's important to make sure your insurance covers flood damage.
Get a good, trusted insurance agent and listen to what they have to say, specifically about additional coverages that may not be included as a regular homeowner's policy. You know, a lot of times people are surprised to find out that they didn't have this coverage, but it's something they declined to save a little bit of money.
Areas closed for swimming today likely to run off, including town beaches in Clinton and East Haven, plus the West Beach at Rocky Neck State Park and Squanch Pond and Wadsworth Falls State Park. Another wave of U.S. strikes in Iran early today as air defenses opened fire over the capital. Iran launched missiles at Jordan again, and alerts were issued in Bahrain and Saudi Arabia. President Trump has issued an eye-for-eye threat against Iran.
The president says every time Tehran shoots at a ship in the Strait of Hormuz, Washington will destroy an Iranian bridge or power plant.
They're going to pay a big price.
He spoke as the unpopular war spirals, with both sides exchanging fire. He was heading to Dover Air Force Base, where the remains of 4 American troops killed in the Middle East were returning to their families.
All I'm going to say is, we love you, we love your child, and that's what they are to them. They're their children.
18 U.S. service members have been killed since the war started nearly 5 months ago. Sagar Magani, Washington.
And the Washington Post now reports the White House is considering military action in Mali. That's a country in West Africa. The target is a group affiliated with al-Qaeda that's been attacking other coastal West African nations. Less than 3 weeks from Election Day, there's a debate in the race for the Democratic nomination for governor. Incumbent Ned Lamont and challenger Josh Elliott. It's on at 7 o'clock on WTNH Channel 8. The Senate Judiciary Committee votes next week on the nomination of Todd Blanche for Attorney General. Today, Democratic senators heard from opponents of President Trump's choice. They say the rule of law is suffering with Blanche in charge. Human trafficking specialist Liz Stein was a victim of serial child rapist Jeffrey Epstein. She says the DOJ under Blanche is in violation of the Epstein Transparency Act.
It required the Attorney General to release responsive records, protect victims' personally identifying information, and limit redactions to those specifically authorized by law, and provide Congress with an accounting of what was withheld and why. Yet 6 months past the deadline, the department has failed to do that.
In other news, West Haven police have identified the victim of a fatal stabbing Sunday on Meadowbrook Court. 35-year-old Robert Piccirillo of Brantford was killed. Police call it a case of family violence. They've arrested 24-year-old Wilkins Castillo of West Haven. He's charged with murder and 2 counts of risk of injury to a child and is held on $1 million bond. Oil prices climbing about 3% today, and AAA reporting the average gas price is up 4 cents to $4.06 a gallon. It's up 17 cents in the last week. Baseball, Red Sox and Orioles playing 2. As you heard on WTIC, the 15th straight win for Boston, tying the franchise record set in 1946. Red Sox beat the Orioles 6-3. Next game from Fenway also on WTIC tonight with the pregame at 6:10. Yankees and Pirates playing 2. Game 1, Pirates win it 5-3 in 10 innings, despite a 3-run shot from Ben Rice, his 30th on the year. Yard Goats in Richmond tonight, and Little League softball regional play in Bristol. The semis, Bristol wins over Cranston, Rhode Island, 11-1. So Bristol plays for the regional championship and a trip to the World Series tomorrow. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker. WTIC 1080 News.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission. $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-253-6203. 800-253-6203. 800-253-6203.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, we're back. Let's do the thing. News. All right. In music news today, today's birthday, Selena Gomez, pop singer and actress from Only Murders in the Building, turns 34. R&B singer Keith Sweat turns 65 today. Don Henley, the Eagles drummer and singer-songwriter, of course, Hotel California, he turns 79 today. George Clinton, of Parliament Funkadelic turns 85 years old. And Alan Menken, the composer of Disney's classics, including Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin, turns 77. And short and brief, on this day in 1977, Elvis Costello released his debut album, My Aim Is True, on Stiff Records in the UK, produced by Nick Lowe. The record delivered sharp, energetic new wave rock that helped launch Costello's major voice in British music. I still don't know anyone who is an Elvis Costello fan. I don't. I've never met anybody who's into Elvis Costello. Ever. I listened to his album and I just went, why is he famous? I mean, he had a couple of records, but that's it. Just a couple. Anyway, in 1989, I didn't realize this was 89, but now it all makes sense to me. Prince's Batman soundtrack, tied to the Tim Burton film of the same name, began a 6-week run at #1 on a Billboard Hot 200. The album blended rock, funk, and pop, becoming a major commercial success. That actually was a big album in my neighborhood. That Batman album. But I forgot, that's 1989. Wow. Another check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher is back. He is in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. I know you know that album, Mark.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear it. Which one
The
again?
Batman album, Prince's Batman
Prince, yeah,
album.
the movie, yeah.
Yeah, what would you consider the most popular song on a Batman soundtrack?
Oh, man, I don't know.
I am going to say the best song on the album was Party Man, which is a Joker theme, because there is nothing like watching Jack Nicholson dance in that movie to that Prince record. It is.
I didn't know Jack Nicholson could dance.
It is. It is one of the wildest scenes ever to watch Jack Nicholson dance to a Prince record. I thought I was in an alternate universe. It is. Wow, but I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anybody says about Heath Ledger in the whole 9 yards about playing Joker. No one played Joker like Jack Nicholson.
No, he was tremendous.
And it reminds me, you know what it is? Two things. So you got Michael Keaton playing Batman and Jack Nicholson playing Joker. It reminds me of the same story when Christopher Reeve plays Superman,
right?
And Gene Hackman plays Lex Luthor. Do you know both of those men made more money than the lead?
Really?
Yes, Gene Hackman made more money than Christopher Reeve as Superman, and Jack Nicholson had to be paid more than Michael Keaton. Because it's Jack Nicholson. Both of those gentlemen are like icons.
Yeah, no question about that. That's great. Great story.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, you're locked up 84 eastbound 44 Prospect Oakwood down to the Bulkley Bridge. Westbound 84 is tied up approaching the Bulkley out to 45 Flatbush. Southbound 91, look for delays in Windsor 36 at 35, again 33 down to 32 A and B. More slow traffic 27 down to 28. If you are traveling 2 westbound, delays 1D up to the 84 West Merge. 291 westbound slowing from 2 up to the Bissell. 291 eastbound's tied up from I-91 over to the Bissell Bridge. Heading into Middletown, both sides of 9 slow approaching the Aragoni Bridge. 84 eastbound in Waterbury slowing approaching 17 to the Mixmaster. Westbound 84 tied up 26 to 25 in Waterbury again from 22 up to the Mixmaster. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, as we go through tonight, we are going to be partly cloudy and a little bit cooler, a low of 60 degrees. Still breezy out there. And tomorrow, it should be mostly sunny, less humid, quiet, high of 81 degrees. A nice day for us. Tomorrow night, we're clear with a low of 56, a cool night. And then Friday, mostly sunny, a high of 82. Beautiful weekend ahead. Saturday, mostly sunny, nice start to it with a high of 83. And then Sunday, partly sunny, a high of 82. Right now it's 83 in Vernon, 83 in Plainville, and 85 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Melissa Constanzer in the WTIC Weather Center.
Hi, this is Eric Hogarth with Money Wisdom. This weekend we'll talk about retirement. Namely, how much does it cost to have a great or a mediocre one? We're also going to talk about that same question relative to 1996. Tune in this weekend to TIC News Talk 1080.
Well, it's official. My friends have all switched to Pure Talk because I told them they could save a bunch of money on a super reliable high-speed network with unlimited data. And because they're my friends, they trust me. As for the rest of you, well, Pure Talk understands that even though you might like me, you're not just going to take my word for it, nor should you. For that reason, and for a very limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited plan that normally sells for $65 a month. Think of it like a test drive, a super simple way to save $150 while you kick the tires on Pure Talk's blazing fast network, and a fine way to see for yourself why I switched from big wireless, along with a few 100,000 of my closest friends. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and be connected to Pure Talk's friendly U.S. customer service team. Again, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
From politics to news to music to movies and anything above the sun
and outer space and beyond, it's Reese on the radio. Damn, he's good. Only on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
We have a response from the Lamont campaign or office about Seyo having a voter registration card. It reads, quote, Connecticut's elections are safe, secure, and accessible. Drawing sweeping conclusions from one isolated case is an improper generalization when state and national data consistently show non-citizen voting is exceedingly rare. No official can guarantee 100% accuracy at every step, but that's why Connecticut has safeguards at multiple stages. Bipartisan administration of elections in all 169 towns, paper ballots, rigorous voter lists, maintenance and post-election audits. Connecticut voters should have full confidence that our elections remain secure. Adam 12 just got this from the governor's office. Adam, please write this to the governor's office. No one is drawing a sweeping conclusion from one isolated case as an improper generalization when the state and national data consistently show non-citizen voting is exceedingly rare. I asked the governor, and I will be specific in the event that somebody is dumb. I want a response to Seyo being a registered voter. I am not making any sweeping generalization about voter rolls. I want to know about Seyo and what investigation or what is going to come as a result of the evidence that we have that he is a registered voter. No one made any assumptions except you. So let me be specific. What is being done about this individual having the ability to vote in an election? Do not generalize my question. Give me an answer about Seyo. Please and thank you. If you haven't learned this yet, let me help you. Never answer a question I haven't asked. I specifically wrote, as we did to every politician, what are you going to say about Seyo? Not illegals, not people who may be or may have. No, we have the evidence of the individual in question. I want an answer to that. Your answer means that you have no answer. You're deflecting. You thought we wouldn't notice? We can read, dum-dum. Answer the question we asked. This is the reason why you're the help. Simple and plain. Because instead of just doing what you're asked, you decided you wanted to do other things. We say do the laundry, you decide to do the windows. Just do the laundry. Answer the question we asked. What is going to be done? We have red-handed somebody who was registered to vote and lied on a voter registration form. What is your response to him? Not everybody else. Not the people who are figments of your imagination. Do you not think that we know how this goes? Save that answer for the Hartford Courant, with all due respect. Save that answer for anybody else who would just eat it up because it's just so happy that you responded. Did the governor respond? Did the governor respond? Did the governor give us an answer? Oh, my goodness. Go to print, go to print, go to print, go live. I don't care about you giving us an answer. I want the answer to the question I asked. That's it. So let's try again. Adam, if you want to, just send him an audio of what I just said. I want an answer to my question. That's it. Who do these people think they're fooling with? A bunch of bozos up there. Give me this stupid answer. It's insulting. Making generalizations. You mean like you did? Your whole statement is a generalization. You act like I didn't ask you for something specific. At least the Blumenthal office had the wherewithal to say, you know what, we don't have an answer now, but we're going to look into it. We'll have an answer for you. Just do that. But you want to be adversarial, right? You want to make this about something I said. Well, what are you trying to say? No. I'm not trying to say anything. I said what I wanted to say. I'm making it clear. And if you're insulted by it, too bad. Pull your panties up and act like a grown-up. Stop giving these people stupid answers. This is a report of an individual who lied. You told us it wasn't happening, and that means that there's something wrong. And if it happened with Seyo, who else? Are you even interested in it? You can sit up here and tell us all day that the integrity of the vote is secure. Not in Seyo's case. Clearly, Seyo, a guy who had been here for 21 years. 21, folks. 21 years. At any given time, the guy's never had a legal status to be here. Never. He doesn't just walk in and register to vote, folks. He walks in and he gets a legitimate driver's license, yo. And these bozos want to talk to me about generalization. Blah, 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 blah. Nobody made any generalization. We want an answer about him. Give us the answer about him. Do you have an answer about him? Just say, we don't know, Reese. We didn't check into it. You're so eager to answer the question. You think you were going to placate me with something that dumb? We don't fool around here. This isn't a joke. We're not playing with you anymore. You're going to give us an answer to the question that we asked. Not that nonsense about, we'll just ask the question. We'll answer it any way we want to. No dice. We don't accept. You better I'm telling you, start making those press conferences later in the day. Start holding them when I'm on the air. I mean, for real. Start holding them at about 2 o'clock, maybe at about 1:30. Start doing that. Either that, I'm just going to have to train a team of people who are just going to have to be there and going to ask you the tough questions. And you may play that nonsense about, we don't answer to the, you only talk to the legitimate media. I cannot believe people accept that. What is wrong with you people out here? This is ridiculous. And whoever wrote that statement, you got to do better than that. What is this? Here's a statement from the Department of Motor Vehicle Commissioner Tony Guerrera. The voter registration circumstances reported in New Jersey are not representative of Connecticut's process. Connecticut uses, was it IDEMIA, IDEMIA, for one limited purpose. Try to get back to the thing because it moved here. Okay, one limited purpose as it pertains to voter registration taking an applicant's signature captured during the DMV. In Connecticut, anyone applying to register to vote through the DMV must affirm under penalty of perjury that they are a U.S. citizen. If a resident indicates they are not a United States citizen, the voter registration process is stopped. That didn't happen here. If a resident indicates that they are a United States citizen, the application is sent to the applicant's local registrars. That didn't happen here. Clearly, it didn't happen here. SOTS will send your specifics on Seyo's case. That's their lane. Okay, fine. Probably so. Probably so. Somebody called in and said it was probably AI generated. Probably. Dave? Okay, Dave. Thank you, Dave. He's probably right. He's probably 100% right. But we don't tolerate that here. We ask questions. We want the answer to the question we ask, not the one you decide to answer that you make up out of whole cloth. Seyo was registered to vote, and he was registered to vote from 2018 to 2023. Folks, that's 5 years. There was no removal. He was inactive at one point. They considered him inactive. Now, that isn't to say whether or not he voted or he didn't, but we don't have any record of that either. Shouldn't we? He was able to get a driver's license. That's not of concern? That we've got a hole so big in the process that a man who had come into the country under false pretenses in 1997 can get a driver's license in 2018 at AAA, having never gotten a legal status, ever. That he just waltzed in to a AAA and said, yes, I'm a legal citizen, sign it, be registered to vote, and get a driver's license. Has anybody ever asked him, hey, Seyo, can I see your driver's license, please? Because if that's happening, ask yourself this question, real deep. How many illegals in the country right now, how many illegals in Connecticut right now have a valid driver's license? That's going to be the next scandal. You know it. Mark is already on the job. And we are going to assist him. And we're going to get to the bottom. And guess what? There is going to be a whistleblower. You damn right there's going to be a whistleblower. Somebody's going to come forward. They always do. They always do. And they always reach out to me. So we're going to know. Come hell or high water, we're going to know. And we're going to expose it. So all this nonsense about nobody's trying to hear that nonsense anymore. We want this answer. We're going to take a break in a second. Stand by for that. I cannot believe that. I have never been this. I mean, I'm kind of burnt right now. That these people don't know who they're dealing with. Are you kidding me? Folks, please take me seriously. That will not be tolerated here. Again, save that for any one of those knuckleheads anywhere else in the news media. Please don't bring that nonsense here. We don't take crumbs here. We don't. We will never take crumbs here. You're not going to feed us the little pennies. Here, take your scraps. That's not happening here. You will totally respect this host and this network. You work for us. Don't you ever dismiss us. Whew. Whew. Oh. All right, we got to take a break. We're going to take a break in a minute. I want that answer. I want it today. I want somebody answering that. And I don't give a damn how they do it. Get an answer. Get me an answer. They'll play that nonsense with somebody else. Boy. Let's get another check of traffic and weather. We'll be back. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading into Hartford, eastbound side of 84, you got delays from 44 Prospect Oakwood down to the Bulkley. A little slow again, 58 out to 59 into 384 interchange. Westbound 84 in East Hartford's tight, 50 just after 56 Governor Street out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 91 southbound slowing 33 in Hartford down to 32 A and B, and again 27 down to 28. Another slowdown approaching 19 to 17 in Meriden. Now, if you're 2 westbound, you're slowing 1D up to the 84 West merge in East Hartford. 291 westbound slows exit 2 up to the Bissell. 291 eastbound slowing from I-91 over to the Bissell Bridge. Heading into Middletown, both sides of 9 heavy approaching the Aragoni. 84 eastbound in Waterbury, delays approaching 17 up to the Mixmaster. And again, slowing 26 down to the 691 interchange. Westbound 84 Waterbury tight up 23 to the Mixmaster. Southbound Parkway, you're looking at delays now from exit 51 in Hamden into the West Rock Tunnel. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
The humidity in the air is still hanging around as we get a mix of sun and clouds, and that's also led to a few passing showers and thunderstorms. Those will die down as we head into the evening, but do watch out for some locally damaging wind gusts as we come down from a high in the mid-80s. Tonight, we're partly cloudy, cooler. It's a pleasant night with a low of 60 degrees. Tomorrow is mostly sunny and less humid, a really nice day for us with a high of 81. Tomorrow night will be clear and a low of 57, a little bit cooler. And going into Friday, we're mostly sunny, a high of 82. The weekend is beautiful, mostly sunny for us. It's a really nice day to start off on Saturday with a high of 83. We'll see a few more clouds heading into Sunday, but it's still a partly sunny day with a high of 82. As we go into the start of the upcoming work week, Monday and Tuesday, the return of showers and thunderstorms will find us. It's going to be a bit more humid, and highs will venture back into the mid-80s. This is meteorologist Melissa Constanzer in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
82 degrees at 5:30. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. Dry in most of Connecticut right now. The candidates for the Democratic nomination for governor meet tonight. It's a debate sponsored by WTNH. Incumbent Ned Lamont and challenger Josh Elliott. That's at 7 o'clock on Channel 8. The CDC now tracking at least 11,000 cases of cyclosporiasis around the country. That's the parasite-caused illness.
Health officials urging consumers to wash their produce, wash their hands, as well as disinfect kitchen surfaces to prevent cross-contamination. With cases of this parasite historically peaking between May through August, officials say these numbers are likely expected to rise. Yuri Benajad, ABC News, New York.
There are 60 cases confirmed in Connecticut. Tropical storm Bertha makes landfall on the southern tip of Louisiana, packing 100-mile-an-hour winds after closing beaches along the northern Gulf Coast. It struck about 40 miles east of New Orleans, damaging wind and storm surge, the main threats expected in the deep south. At Dover Air Force Base, the military conducted the dignified transfer of 4 U.S. service members killed in the Middle East. President Trump was there. He's now warned that the U.S. will destroy a bridge or power plant each time Iran fires at a ship in the Strait of Hormuz. The strait remains largely closed. The president also threatening a site that may contain Iranian nuclear material.
Pickaxe Mountain was built in a way that experts believe that America's most sophisticated bunker-busting bombs can't reach it. That has raised new concerns about whether or not an American strike there would be able to destroy the centrifuges that Trump believes may be there. It also raises questions about what Iran would do to retaliate.
The AP's John Gambrell reporting. West Haven police identified the victim of a fatal stabbing Sunday afternoon. 35-year-old Robert Picarillo of Branford was killed. Police call it a case of family violence. They've arrested 24-year-old Wilkins Castillo of West Haven. He's charged with murder and 2 counts of risk of injury to a child. Castillo held on $1 million bond. Oil prices climbing about 3% today. In fact, Brent crude is now up 4% to $95, up 30% for the month. AAA reporting the average gas price is up 4 cents today to $4.06 a gallon. It's $4.15 in Connecticut. On Wall Street, the Dow was down 6 points. The S&P dropped 10. NASDAQ was minus 146. Sports. Red Sox win their team record 15th straight game, beating Baltimore 6-3. Jarren Duran a 2-run triple. Next game from Fenway. Also on WTIC tonight, with the pregame coming up at 6:10. Yankees and Pirates playing a split doubleheader as well. Pittsburgh wins game 1, 5-3 in 10 innings, despite a Ben Rice 3-run shot, his 30th. Yard Goats in Richmond, and there's Little League softball play in Bristol, the semis. Bristol beat Cranston, Rhode Island. 11 won the final, so Bristol plays for the regional championship and a trip to the World Series in a game tomorrow. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Mager. WTIC 1080 News.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app, search WTIC News Talk 1080, and tap earlier today to get started.
All right, we're back. Reese on the radio. Let's do it. Stupidest thing I read today comes from the Smithsonian. You may have heard that. The director of the Smithsonian, Althea Hartig, got grilled over the institution's ties to what's called a mass action toolkit that labels basic everyday traits like politeness to racism. This was her exchange with Representative Brandon Gill.
Excuse me, sir?
Is it important to be polite?
Yes, sir.
It's also interesting because the same mass action toolkit that your organization has been promoting references politeness as a defining characteristic of white supremacy culture. Ma'am, are you a white supremacist?
No, sir.
You're not. Can you help me square why your organization says that being polite is part of being a white supremacist?
That's not all, folks. It gets even dumber. The Smithsonian also writes that one of the most beloved characters in Disney may be tied to racism. Whom? Listen for yourself.
Is Mickey Mouse racist?
Mickey Mouse is not racist.
It's not racist. According to the Smithsonian Institution, one of your exhibits referenced Mickey Mouse as representing, quote, vestiges of long-standing traditions of blackface minstrelsy. Would you describe that as racist?
No, the historical trajectory of the origins of Mickey Mouse tied directly
so Mickey Mouse is rooted in racism. Is that your testimony?
No, sir, it's rooted in minstrelsy.
Minstrelsy, and you don't think the blackface minstrelsy is racist?
It had certain unobvious racial overtones that have been well documented.
These people are serious. They are serious. Let's get another check on traffic and weather. Mark Christopher is back. I guess. Yes, he is in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Mickey Mouse, huh? Just anything, man. They'll blame anybody, man. Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck. Donald Duck's speech impediment will now be racist.
Good Lord.
Takes all kinds, man.
Well, Reese, right now we do have a problem. It's 84 eastbound. It is in Hartford, 84 eastbound between exit 44 and 46. It looks like a tractor trailer and a vehicle got tangled up in the right lane there just prior to 46. So you got delays pushing back to exit 44, pretty much right down to the Bulky Bridge. Westbound 84 is tied up just after 56 Governor Street out to 44 Prospect Oakwood. Southbound 91 delays 33 down to 32 A&B, and again 27 to 28. If you're traveling 91 southbound in Meriden, delays approaching 19 to 17. Traveling 291 westbound, delays exit 2 up to the Bissell. 291 eastbound slowing I-91 to the Bissell. 2 westbounds tied up East Hartford 1D up to the 84 West merge. Heading toward Waterbury, 84 eastbound delays 17 to the Mixmaster. And again, 84 eastbound slowing in Chester 26 down to the 691 interchange. Westbound 84 Waterbury slowing 22 to the Mixmaster. Southbound on the Parkway, look for delays from 63 in North Haven down into the West Rock Tunnel. And if you are traveling on the southbound side of 95 New Haven, slowing from 48 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, we do have a nice breeze out there for us, which is trying to dry us out and bring in less humidity. Now, as we get rid of the humidity, we've seen already a few showers. Things should be quieting down, though, for us tonight. As we fall to a low of 60 degrees, it's a cooler night, and tomorrow is mostly sunny, less humid. Pretty nice day with a high of 81. Tomorrow night will be clear with a low of 57, so fairly crisp out there for July standards. And going into Friday, we will be mostly sunny, a high of 82. The weekend is just beautiful. Mostly sunny, a high of 83 on Saturday. And Sunday, we're partly sunny with a high of 82. Right now it's 84 in Farmington, 82 in South Windsor, and 85 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Melissa Constanzer in the WTIC Weather Center.
Increase your vehicle's performance with Lucas Fuel Treatment at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Add it to your tank to eliminate carbon and varnish deposits. Get 2 bottles of Lucas Fuel Treatment for just $9. Plus, receive 2 times O rewards points at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Lenseek.
Google is looking to siphon off users from Pinterest with Google Images, a redesigned search engine that Google says is a place for discovery and inspiration, with search results returning photos, how-to videos, and even links to Pinterest. There's also a reverse image search so users can upload images and locate the source online, while another feature lets users know which images are created or edited with AI. I'm Jason Brooks.
If you own a business, you've heard it all. From fast funding to easy approvals, everyone says the same thing. Lenseek is different. We show you what you actually qualify for. Lenseek's AI-enabled platform matches you with funding options with no guesswork. Up to $5 million in as fast as 24 hours. If you've been in business over a year, doing at least $50,000 per month, apply for free with 0 out-of-pocket costs and access to over 100 lenders. Start ready, stay ready. Lenseek.com. LENDSEEK.com.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-329-1010. That's 1-800-329-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-329-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is. You know who it is.
It's Reese on the radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, just about to get up out of here, folks. Don't forget, next week we're going to make an announcement about my birthday and the birthday broadcast. Stand by for that. That's going to be, you're going to hear all about that soon. And I think they're going to run it throughout the entire day here at the station, which I was surprised when I found out about it. Anyway, but you'll get a chance to hang out. We'll tell you all about it, like I said, by Monday, I think we will. With that, tomorrow on the program, I want to make sure that I'm ready to go with this tomorrow. Who do we have on? Oh, we've got Harold Foley, who is suing the HUD office in Connecticut. Also, another gentleman from the construction workers, the minority construction workers here in the state. Benoit is going to be here as well. I don't have his full name, but they'll be here at 4 o'clock tomorrow. Also, programming note, we will also have Jessica Jones on the phone calling from Georgia. She will be calling in at about this time tomorrow to read a statement about the video release of her son's death. So she'll call up, and we'll see if she'll talk to us about anything else, but she is going to give us the opportunity to hear directly from her in her own words this time tomorrow on the show. Make sure you tune in for that. Also on Friday, Mike Grasso joins us, and Sherry from Hartford, the woman you heard me speak to about 2 days ago near the end of the program, will be here and a guest. There's somebody who actually says that they used to work for the DMV and says, Reese, as a former DMV employee, don't look for the truth from the DMV, not until they look completely stupid. You're probably right about that. Probably right. Let me see. Is this another? Someone else had written to me and said, I'm not sure what this is about, but it is not. Oh, it's something about AAA. Okay, I'll have to read this because it's a little longer than usual. Excuse me. Yeah, and that's pretty much it for the rest of the show. Oh, I want to mention that today's T-shirt, ooh, that was weird. Today's T-shirt is brought to you by the Hartford Fire Department. Don't forget, if you want to send a shirt to Reese on the Radio, as Fast Pitch Nation did today, you can send it to the station at care of WTIC. Attention, Reese on the Radio at 10 Executive Drive. Again, 10 Executive Drive, Farmington, Connecticut, 06032. Roland wears a 2XL, or I just wear a large. And this, by the way, I don't know where you got this one from, Mark, but this shirt fits perfectly. And love this shirt. And he gave me two, so I can't wait to wear the blue one as well. Let's get to the phones. Kim is back on the line. I love it when Kim calls. She's got great calls. How you doing, Kim?
Good. I surmise that some of this fraudulent registration is coming in via motor voter.
Yeah.
Which is done in a host of public places.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the whole impetus, is to get more and more of the disaffected crowd who don't usually vote
Mm-hmm.
to register so that the state can go spend money on them.
Right.
We can't seem to get over this hump of people just trying to spend money until oblivion. is I imagine it goes through some kind of chain of line staff.
Okay.
There, and I know when I was working, I had one case where somebody who was not a citizen sent in a card, and I made sure that card did not see the light of day. Is because I knew if you just send it up there, somebody could not really care about their work ethic,
right,
what they're doing, or maybe saying, oh, we know the game and we've got to promote this, or they might be physically tired and just assume that it's citizens sending in their stuff.
Something like muscle memory, if you will, just going through the process and not really checking them.
And there's no QC after that.
Right.
There, and they just think, again, you know, everybody's going to be on the up and up there, and it just disenfranchises all of us.
What do you think, if Kim, if you had to go through what that process was, right? Let's say barring criminal activity, how do we get to the point where Seyo gets into AAA, fills out this form, and by the end of it, he's got a valid driver's license and a voter registration card? Barring anything criminal, how do we get there? Can we get there?
We can get there, assuming they save these cards or whatever they are and stuff, and they go in a file bin. And again, I think what they don't maybe do in the training when you have state staffs doing this is they need a rule saying if you dare go and try to push something through that is really illegal, not right, whatever you want to call it, just to prove a case in point, that you do so under some criminal penalty.
Right.
It's no different than when you work for the welfare department, all employees have to sign off, I think it's annually. There is this piece of paper that you have to sign off referring to that you cannot disclose any IRS information on a client to anybody, okay?
Right.
Whether it's your neighbor leaving it out on the street someplace or any other scheme. You can't even just talk about it to, say, a lawmaker to indicate name.
Right.
You know, everything would have to be. And that does have a financial penalty and a criminal penalty.
Really? Okay.
Tattooed with it. And most people are pretty good that because they see IRS, it's right then and there. You can't even try to connive this, this kind of thing there. And so something maybe similar needs to happen with regard to this. And again, it's no different than the HIPAA law or things like that. Things that are supposed to be kept confidential. But by the same token, we cannot facilitate an underhanded process to allow people who are not deserving of this
right.
In order to finagle elections because people want power so bad.
The part that I don't understand is, again, how do we even, because someone said it, and again, of the veracity of this statement, I'm not certain, but maybe you would know, that if you were getting a driver's only card for what, as they call it, undocumented, people, they're saying that process cannot be done at the AAA. That is only done in-house at the DMV, which then lends itself to, if he was at the DMV without any proper identification, he should have never been allowed to go past no pass go, no collect $200 at the DMV. He's not a legal citizen. He's got to be directed to the DMV, no?
Right, you have to have the head office where all this emanates there.
Right.
And again, the head office should have the highest penalty there, and workers should be trained on this stuff of the severity. So the next thing is maybe we need, like, the public auditors to get some staff of some kind to go through cards, if any are there, and just to see, and then, again, reiterate that you don't just rubber stamp things there. There are certain things to look for because, again, part of that thing of letting illegals have licenses, and I wouldn't know how many do.
Yeah, I'm checking
the
this.
long-term game plan that the Democrats have had.
Yeah.
Been able to get some stuff saying, okay, they've been working here for so long, big deal. Their aim is to get them into the voting booth.
That's correct. 100% right. Kim, as always, great call. Thank you so much. Let's go to my good friend Tommy Tom. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up? I got a comment to make on the politeness, but I think the DMV workers channel Sergeant Schultz, and they don't want to see nothing. They don't want to know nothing. They just want to sign them up because it's good for the union, and what's good for the union is good for the employees.
There was more, Tom. I'll say this to you, and I was thinking about this as Kim was breaking this down. There was more scrutiny. There was more oversight in the story that suggested that state troopers were pulling over black drivers more than whites than they are scrutinizing our voter rolls.
Yeah, they don't want to know, Reese. They don't want to know.
I know. Anyway, go ahead. What did you want to say about politeness?
I wanted to say, Reese, I know you go to the conferences and you ask your questions, but I didn't realize you're a racist, Reese, when you ask them politely about things. I did not realize that.
Do you know what do you know what the genesis of that comment was in their charter that says that politeness is white supremacy? And it's really it is rooted in probably the most disgusting and despicable what do you call it? Not reverse racism, because there's no such thing, but I'll just call it the soft bigotry of low expectations. Here's the deal.
Yes.
That's
a great term.
That's what she is suggesting is that she or many of her colleagues have had experiences with rude black people, and they have complained about black people being rude to them. So they now have suggested being polite or telling someone or asking them to be polite is asking black people to be unnatural. That's what the root of that is.
That is exactly soft bigotry.
Exactly. And it always is. When you ask them, when you say, where did this come from? It is simply someone told a black person to be polite, and it was like, who you talking to? We ain't got to be polite. And that became the genesis of asking. Same thing as pull yourself up by your bootstraps. All of a sudden became code for white supremacy. Waking up early, getting an education, eating with a knife and fork. These things are now racist.
Yeah, saying yes, please, or thank you. That's racism.
It's like saying, you can't expect them people to be civilized. That's racist.
You gotta check yourself, Reese.
I know. But again, that's why. And I listen to them. And I go, you don't even hear yourself, do you? Like you're not even present for this conversation, are you?
Oh, that woman's tone, and her voice and her tone was driving me crazy. That head of the Smithsonian.
Oh, that's the way they all talk, my friend.
Yeah,
that's
ripping with I am better than you.
Oh, it's such condescension and like, how dare you talk to me?
Yes. Exactly.
Thank you, my friend. I'll talk to you.
I have better things to do than talk to
Yes,
you.
I was like, well, look, are you addressing me? Who are you?
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
All right.
You got it. That's exactly how she spoke. She was like, yes, asking these blacks to behave civilized. Yes, they're not like that. They're not like you or I. Civilized human beings. Can't expect them to behave in this way. Look at how they're raised, how they live. That's their natural habitat. And we, uppity, we can't expect them to behave as we do. That's beyond them. You know where they come from? They were dragged here. Slave ships came in all across the Atlantic. Now, all of a sudden, we wish them to act like civilized human beings. It's just beyond the pale. Yes. We have a moral compass. We must appreciate where they come from. Polite, kind, using grammar. Those things are not there for them. These are white things. You have to understand, I want people to be ticked off of that. I want people in the black community to be angry at that people talk about them like that. Manners, politeness, those are not things from which they come. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the radio. Thou, have a good night and a pleasant tomorrow. We'll be back here at 2 p.m., just after noon. Mark Christopher is getting you home in your carriages. He is in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center, getting you home forthwith. Good night, Mark.
I think I need cliff notes to understand what you just said. I have no idea what you said, but I think you told me to do traffic. Reese, have a great night. Westbound 84 heading into Hartford. Delays East Hartford approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound, a little slow approaching 48 Capitol Avenue to the Bulkley Bridge. Tap of the brakes up at the 384 interchange on the East Hartford